I remember one of our last like phone calls we had. As a joke, I was like, and you're such a star f***er. And he was like, don't flatter yourself. Like, you're like no star. And I was like,
oh my God.
Right? I was like, well.
Welcome back to the Just Trish podcast. I am so excited about today. Not only do I love her, but you guys love her. Literally the most requested on X. Like your Stan Twitter is all about the one and only Slayyyter.
Woo!
Oh my God. Pop star. I don't even think like pop star covers it. You're just like, you're really in your own category when it comes to music. I don't know how to describe it.
I feel like I rap a little. I do it all, you know?
That's what's crazy too. When you were saying like, I was like, I did a whole deep dive. I obviously have heard of you because so many people are like, oh my God, you would like love Slayyyter because it's very like the music I love that I feel like doesn't like come out. You know what I mean? It's like sexual.
Thank
it's like
you.
hypersexual.
Yeah.
But it's also like you're actually talented too. Like you actually like sing and write.
Thank you so much.
Which is crazy. Rapping's crazy. I saw in an interview that you were like, I told my teacher I wanted to win a Grammy for rapping. And I was like, wait, what? That's what? And she's like, that'll never happen.
She like laughed at me. Yeah. Well, I was kind of joking. I was like, I want to be in music. And she was like, well, you should pick something else. And I was like, in Missouri. So it's like, they
don't get it.
Yeah, they don't get it.
I'm from Illinois. So when I heard you were like Midwest girl, like you must have been so bored back there knowing who you are.
Yeah. It's like, I feel like I dressed really crazy. I would wear like Baby Spice, like big platform shoes to the bar. And I was like bleached, like white blonde. I worked at a hair salon. So I was like, I don't know. I never felt like I fit in. People thought I was weird.
Was this back in Missouri? You were dressing like that?
Yeah.
Back, I didn't do bleach blonde until I came to LA because back in the Midwest, they would look at you some type of way. Because you're also like about a decade younger than me because I feel like my era, it still was like kind of cool to be platinum. Not that it wasn't then, but I feel like you were like even vintage, like throwback with the platinum.
Yeah. Well, everyone, I looked very like trashy. That was like everyone just thought I was like a little trash rat.
Did you love it though?
Yeah, I did. That was like my vibe. I've always been like, I kind of own being a trashy girl. Yeah.
Yeah. I think that's like the best. I think even Dolly Parton said it. She's always said her style was like a mix between Mother Goose and your local hooker, and I loved it.
Yeah, like the neighborhood whore. Like you wanted to, Yeah,
you don't want to be the girl down the street. You're like, I want to be the like girl, not the girl next door, but the whore down the street.
Yeah, the whore down the street.
I love that. I think that's like, who are your inspirations when it comes to like trashiness? Like in a good way. We mean it like lovely.
Honestly, with love, because I feel like she's not like this anymore, but like I loved like Lindsay Lohan tabloid era. Like just like clocky extensions, like falling out. Like I still am like that.
So
I
iconic.
can't figure out the back of the head. So.
Do you do your own extensions when you put them in? Yeah, I can never do it either.
I do the clip-ins and it looks real crazy. If I can't see it, no, like it doesn't exist.
That's how I feel. I never do the back of my head ever. Yeah. It's like kind of everything. I feel like now with the platinum, it's like you're still holding on to it. I like love it.
Yeah, you know.
It's giving like, I loved like Jenna Jameson and like the 90s and like all that, the trashy core. I loved Anna Nicole. I don't consider her like trashy, but other people would, and I thought she was
like
everything.
The Playboy models, the Maxim magazine, like bimbo, if you will, which, I feel like that word has become like kind of like a funny like internet culture, but like back when that was like kind of an insult. Like I loved those kinds of women. The big boobs, the nails, the hair, like that. Yeah.
Me too. I know you were talking about because you don't have yours done, right? Because you were talking about this in an interview.
No, yeah, I don't.
And you were wanting to go to Dr.
Saving up.
What's his name? Rady
Raban.
Yeah, I looked him up after you said it, and I was like, I want to get mine redone.
He's like the tit master. He specializes in like the teardrop, eyes wide shut, like perfect teardrop tit.
Oh man, when I saw that, I was like, oh, I want to get them done too. I think like because it's so hard to find a good boob doctor.
Yeah,
that's kind of everything.
Yeah,
I feel like if you shout him out enough, he'll probably just do you for free.
I know. I'm like, please, Dr. Rady, please. I love surgery though. I'm like very pro plastic surgery. I have like a song about it. I think it's like, I don't know. It's kind of cool that you can kind of design yourself.
How you want to look. And I think it goes like a little too, I love it too, but then there's some like extremes of it.
Yeah.
Not that I don't mind it. Do you watch 90 Day Fiancé?
Sometimes.
Have you seen Darcy and Stacey?
No.
They're like these twins that have like crazy surgery. They go to Turkey like once a year and get everything done.
Turkey.
And they have the bleach blonde and I love it. They're like in their 50s and they're getting surgery. I'm like, that's going to be me for sure.
Yeah.
That's kind of everything. I love that you mentioned Eyes Wide Shut. We were talking right before this that you're like in old Hollywood, like you love like throwback. Obviously, your album is very like 80s visualized.
Yeah.
And the Eyes Wide Shut, we were just talking about this the other day. I haven't seen it. Really? Is it like, okay, this is the
you
sex
would love
party?
it. It's a crazy movie. It's like old, like, I think it's Stanley Kubrick's last film, but it was Tom Cruise and Nicole Kidman. And it's basically, the themes of it are about like infidelity in a way. And like this whole, he goes on this crazy night where he's like trying to cheat on his wife, but his wife tells him the story about how she like wanted to hook up with a sailor. And like, I don't want to give anything away, but yeah, there's like a sex party and it's really, it's weird.
Is it like hot? Is like a sexy movie or no?
Yeah, I mean, it's hot, but at the same time, it's very like spooky. It's almost like scary because it's like this secret cult, and there's like rumors where like Stanley Kubrick was kind of like, you know, after this movie came out, he like mysteriously died, and it's because it's like exposing like Hollywood sex rings. I'm like, maybe I shouldn't, like, you know.
I believe it though. No, literally this morning, Glam was telling me about it, how there would be like these sex parties. I was like, what does that mean? They're like, there'd be a dinner and then afterwards they all just like hook up with each other. Have you ever been invited to one?
No, but I've heard from girls, like stripper friends of mine or like whoever, that like they do exist and like they will go.
Oh my God.
And it's like people who are like very famous that like
just
partake.
hooking up.
I know. And I'm like, with like if you're like a famous person, like with your like how could you not be like nervous about that information? But they keep it all really under wraps, I guess.
They must like take your phone away or something, right?
Yeah, for sure.
Would you go if you were invited?
Absolutely. Oh my gosh. I'm like, if anyone's watching, I would love to come.
Oh man, that would have been my dream single. Like just to see like celebrities there and just like everyone
like,
just having sex.
Y'all are like, what? I'd be like, whoa.
Oh man, that's so exciting. I love that you know people that go there though. That's like everything.
Yeah.
I knew they were real, and I got to see that movie. We were just talking. I love this actor named Alan Cumming. Do you know him?
Oh, of course.
Yes, he's in it, right? Because he was like, and I can't imagine what he would be in it. I'm like, is he? Because he's never like a sexual character.
He's not really in the sex scene. He plays like a hotel clerk.
Oh, okay.
Which is so funny. He's in like all of these favorite movies of mine, but like none of them have anything to do with each other. Like Eyes Wide Shut, like Josie and the Pussycats.
Yeah.
I'm like the versatility
Romeo
of him.
Michelle.
Yeah, Romeo Michelle. It's insane.
Yeah, it's so. I love him now because I'm watching The Traitor, so I'm kind of just like obsessed with him again. God, he was in all the great movies when we were like young.
I need to see that. What is that?
It's so. Oh my God, you haven't seen The Traitors?
No.
Are you into reality TV at all?
Yeah, love.
Okay, it's on Peacock, and he hosts it. It's like in his Scottish castle, and all these like reality TV stars, like from Real Housewives. I don't watch those shows, but like all the reality TV stars come, and it's kind of like it's like a murder mystery. They like murder people, and you have to guess who did it. And he's like the host of it, and he comes down like fabulous kilts and stuff.
Oh, love.
Yeah, you would be so good on it. I want to go on it so bad. There's a season 3 coming, so
you have to.
I feel like if we both go, they always have like a connection of two people knowing each other from their show. So I feel like if they did like some sort of like social media thing, or we could also be pop music girlies. I had a career for like a year, and
Freaky is one of my favorite songs ever. Trust and Believe. Yes.
Oh my God, I wanted to be you so bad. Like your career is my dream career.
Come on, like you don't even understand like the cult following. Your music is incredible. Like,
oh my gosh, thank you.
Like Freaky is a great pop song. You know what I mean? I love that song.
Oh my God, thank you. I feel like I just really wanted to be Britney, kind of like you, like the Britney that Heidi Montag you listen, and I just had her on, and I'm like, she was another queen that I was like, I want to be that so bad.
Yeah.
And you really emulate them so well, like just that whole early 2000s, like.
Yeah, thank you. I feel like it's just being a fan of pop music, you know? I feel like trend cycles come and go, and I feel like pop music hasn't been like a very cool thing for a very long time, but it's kind of coming back, like with Tate McRae and the Choreo and like bubblegum pop. I feel like people are into it now.
Oh, for sure. And I feel like you keep it alive too. But I love with Starf, I thought that like the visuals of that was so cool. Why did you choose like 80s vibes for it?
I love an 80s erotic thriller. I love like the Brian De Palma, like, you know, like silhouette, like slinky woman smoking a cigarette. I love the movie Basic Instinct too.
Yes, so good.
Like the Sharon Stone, like I wanted to do like a really dramatic version of, you know, I don't know, my apartment and my life in LA. I like collect all that like 80s deco furniture. So I was like, I want the album cover to be like, look like my apartment if I had like more budget. You know?
Your cover, the one in the red jacuzzi with like the glass brick wall, is that in your house or no?
Oh no, that was at this place in Vegas. This little where was that? It's like a little like Moon Studios something. Like it's a guy who does like Pier Spaces or whatever.
Oh, I see.
And
okay.
he designs with all that vintage furniture. But the album cover, like the one of me with like the cigarette, that was shot in Chicago in like a studio. And they brought in all the furniture, and like I have one of those like mirrored headboard old beds. So it's like this really dramatic version of like what I feel like my
apartment would be.
Yeah.
Do you have any like hints of that in your apartment now? Like little traces of it?
Yeah, definitely. Like my sheets are like black silk, like to match the album and everything. Yeah.
Oh, that's everything. I love it. I love a mirrored headboard. I think that looks so cool. We put glass brick upstairs, and literally, because my husband does like furniture design, and I had one of the glass brick like Beetlejuice, like the blue, and he's like, I don't know if this is gonna like upgrade the value of our property because it looks like it's from like the 80s. I think like people will be like, I don't know if I want this. I want more modern.
Well, that's the thing too. Like all that 80s, those 80s houses, like were seen as so dated, so many got knocked down. But like those old like Miami style, like that like cocaine decor, like that all is like everyone sees as so dated. But I love it.
I love it too. I hate when they remodel it. Like you find
bathrooms, like pink old school marble tile bathrooms and all that stuff, and like people are like, it's so dated, and so I tore it down and blah blah blah. And it's like, no,
that's what makes it cool. Yeah, and all the mirrored like ceilings and stuff, like all that stuff. I wish it would make a comeback. I feel like you're kind of making a comeback with it, like with all the design and stuff like that. So you go to these peer spaces and they already are decorated like that, or do you hire like a set designer?
Some of them. I did some set design stuff for my album, but every once like peer spaces get so blown up in LA. Like you'll see like other artists, like everyone uses the same one. So I try to like look in other cities where like they're not as like tapped into. But a lot of the stuff for my album was set designed by these people, Breakfast for Dinner in Chicago. They like did the whole album cover and everything.
It looks amazing. It looks so good.
Thanks.
I was reading too, like your music videos. I think it was with Interview magazine. You were saying like you do them like really low budget. Like you really, is that by choice? Because they don't look like it, but is it by choice, or you said it's just hard to get money now for music videos?
It's hard. I feel like unless you have a song that's really cracking off online, labels don't want to make the investment in music videos because they don't really do anything anymore. They used to be a big piece of the puzzle with like releases and stuff, but now it just doesn't really matter as much to do music videos. But if you're like a visual artist and you like doing them, then it's like obviously you want to have a piece of visual to go with the music. But yeah, like I have this song I Love Hollywood, and she actually shot the video, but we just went to the chateau and like had a bunch of our friends, and like my DJ was like in the room DJing, and we were like doing it like all secret because like we don't want to get kicked out. But yeah, just like on the fly, super low budget, no permission, ask for forgiveness, never permission.
I love that. And they never say anything about it.
No.
We did it. We did a shoot once at Chateau when I was doing OnlyFans still. We were like, did it. And I was like, I wonder if I'm going to get like in trouble for shooting like naked shots in here and posting.
I think that they like think it like, you know, it's like a cool hotel. I feel like they don't mind as much as long as you're not disturbing other guests. They don't care.
We went to one that had like blood on the carpeting. Like it had blood stains on it. Have you it's actually crazy. It's actually spooky. We were going to stay the night and we ended up not staying the night. Because I'm not big into ghosts, but it feels like haunted or something, right?
That hotel has definitely seen some shit. I feel like, I've only stayed there like a handful of times, but it's always a little weird. The light switches are all really old. It's like you poke the button, and you know, people have died there for sure. So I love the chateau though. I feel like the history there is really insane. That's like really Hollywood lore.
Oh, it totally. I mean, your lyric is literally like, "I want to die at chateau." I was like, okay,
right?
But you know what? So it is so iconic for that reason, right? Because all the rooms are so dark, but they actually have good food too. The restaurant has like really good pasta.
It's really good. Yeah, the bolognese. Excellent. It's so good. I feel like it's funny too. It's such an expensive hotel. So if you're from out of town and you're expecting like this luxury hotel, you get in the rooms and like the carpet is stained and you're like, wait, what? Like
so little.
But it's like a bougie, you know, situation to stay there. But yeah, I love it there.
Is that your favorite Hollywood hotel?
Yeah, I think so. I feel like it's just, I don't know. It's such an iconic building. Like on Sunset, it looks like this big castle. It's my favorite. That and Sunset Tower, I love.
Oh, I haven't been there. Where's that one?
Sunset Tower. It's right across from Saddle Ranch, actually, which is so funny. But that's like old. It's like the big Art Deco, like high rise. I think it was like Leland Bryant designed it. It's like that old building right on Sunset. It's like, you know, kind of like the classier chateau. Like people aren't getting down crazy there.
They're not doing like hardcore drugs or anything like that. No. I only know the Best Western across from Saddle Ranch. Is it like next to it?
Yeah, honestly.
Okay. I was like,
it's the really big old building. I feel like you would love it. The vibe, it's very old Hollywood vibes, and like Tower Bar, like the restaurant is really great. The food's great there.
Oh, okay. I have to try it out. Do you just like, how do you find these hotels? Like through friends, or do you just like go and hang out by yourself?
I don't know. I feel like that and Chateau are like, those are really like famous ones in LA, but I'm just like a hotel girl. Like I love a hotel. I love the robe. I love having the room like clean for me. Like it's like I like staycations. I'd rather stay in LA and stay at a hotel than like go on a vacation.
I agree. I feel like we only do like LA hotels and stuff. That's why I'm surprised I've never been to Sunset Tower, because we stayed at the Andaz. We stayed at like so many different ones. Beverly Hills Hotel. Oh yeah. Which is like so great. Have you ever stayed in the bungalows there?
No, that one, I've never been to Beverly Hills Hotel, but I know that's
really?
Yeah, I've never been there, but I know that one's like, that's like one of the most famous ones in LA.
It feels bougie, and like the Polo Lounge. You never been there for like lunch?
No.
What?
I know.
You're like such a Hollywood girl and a hotel girl. That's so crazy. So you have to go check it out.
Yeah. I will.
And it's pink vibes. You like the pink. Yeah. It's pink vibes. It's like pink carpet. And
like palm. I know the wallpaper is like palms.
Yeah. It's really, really cool. It's very like old too. It's very just like whatever. But it's like the fun part of it. Nice. So, okay. So you're from St. Louis. When did you come to LA? Were you like 18?
I actually came here like 4 years ago. I haven't lived here for that long, honestly. I started putting music out online in St. Louis, and I was like a St. Louis like townie. I was like, I'll die here. Like, I love St. Louis. Like, you'll never take me out of here. And I came here for a writing trip. I would come to LA to do writing trips for my album, and I would do sessions with producers. And I came in like February 2020, and then like famously, the world turned upside down. Yeah. So I got kind of stuck out here, and I was like, I'll just get an apartment. And yeah.
During quarantine,
yeah.
Whoa. What was that like? Because did you like know people? Obviously you knew people.
Yeah. I mean, I knew a couple people. It was like back when you could not see like a single soul. So I was like pretty out here by myself, and like it was fine. Very Missouri of me. I was like, I want to live in Beverly Hills. So like I picked this little shitty studio apartment in Beverly Hills, and it was not by anything. Everyone was like, you live so far. Like, that's so far. Like, no one like lives in Beverly Hills like that right. in an apartment. But yeah, I loved it. It was a great first year. I was just kind of
just chilling. Yeah. Were you writing music during quarantine?
Yeah. Oh, the whole time. I finished an album and was working on. That's when I started Starf. Was like during quarantine.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So it gave you like lots of time to write.
Yeah, definitely.
Well, Beverly Hills too has a lot of like dark lore there too. Have you ever done the Hollywood Death Tour?
No.
Oh my God. They take you all around, and specifically in Beverly Hills, there's people who've been like mummified in their apartments. Like some director was like decapitated. Like, not to get dark, I'm not into morbid, but it's all in Beverly Hills.
Crazy.
And in those like apartment areas, like you kind of bougie, and everyone like there's so much dark history there.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is one hell of a town, let me tell you.
So what do you love about Hollywood? What draws you to it?
I don't know. I love the vibe here. I love that it's like you're an hour from like the old Western kind of vibes, and like an hour from the mountains. I just love it. I feel like people that hate LA, I'm not even from here, but I kind of like, it like makes me upset when everyone's like, New York's cooler. LA.
No.
Right? I love it here. I love old Hollywood culture. I love the buildings. I love the Art Deco. I just love it. I love the culture here. It's just great, you know?
The vibes are just, you just know there's so many people that came before you that you're like, this is so cool.
Everyone's chill. There's so many, there's like surfers and like all this different, like I feel like there's so many different kind of pockets, and everyone that says they hate LA or it's fake, like they're talking about entertainment. They're not talking about the city itself.
Oh yeah, they're talking about like TikTokers at like Barney's Beanery. You know, it's like okay, yeah. But if you go, but like you said, the surfers, you can go to Venice, and then you can go to like Santa Barbara. But there's like just so many different pockets you can go to, which is like Silver Lake is like a whole other thing, which is like super cool. Quentin Tarantino just opened a coffee shop in Silver Lake, and it's like
cool.
So cool. It's like so like did you ever see Once Upon a Time in Hollywood?
Yes, of course.
That's like the vibes I like. Like to me, that's LA. I was like, oh, that's so cool. Like Spawn Ranch and stuff like that. Just feels cool.
Which even like mentioning him, I live close in proximity to Beverly Cinema, Quentin Tarantino's new Beverly Cinema, and I remember seeing in Once Upon a Time in Hollywood when they're at like El Coyote, because that's where Sharon Tate had her last meal, and they're looking at that theater, and it used to be a porn theater, and they're like, can they put, because it's like an Orthodox Jewish neighborhood, so it was like kind of like wrong that they would have like an adult theater, so they changed it, and so it got closed down because it was like a religious neighborhood. They're like, you can't have like a nudie. It was like an adult theater.
Oh, I didn't know that.
And it got closed and they reopened and all this stuff. But in the movie, like that actually happened where they were like, oh, that's like a nudie theater, like blah, blah, blah. What kind of movies you think they show there?
Oh my God, you didn't even think about that. And the area is still very Orthodox. Like even now going, have you been to the theater?
Yeah, I saw Josie and the Pussycats there actually.
No way.
Yeah.
They showed that. That's so random.
I went by myself and they showed it on film. It was great.
I love it. I used to go, when I moved here in 2006, I would go to all the midnight showings, and that's where I met Quentin, because I used to be obsessed with him. And so I would go and just kind of like hang out there every like Saturday night, and he used to go all the time, and he was always like so cool. But I just thought that theater is just so like vintage and nostalgia. I didn't know it was a porn theater before that. Yeah. Kind of makes it cooler though.
Yeah. I feel like it's interesting lore for the neighborhood.
I love that you know so much. Like I do. Like you just know so much about so many things. The fact that you know Alan Cumming, I was like, oh my God, finally. Because I always talk about him and be like, who? And I have to show like pictures and.
I feel like an old soul. Like for my age, like I don't know. I always grew up like loving movies and loving cinema and loving like, I don't know. My dad is really weird and would like show me and my sister like weird stuff.
Really? Was he into it too? Like old movies?
Yeah, he was always into movies and stuff. And my mom kind of was too, but like my dad was just into like SNL and actors and comedians. And I feel like all these names, like he got me into like Norm Macdonald when I was like young. Really? So it's like stuff where I feel like people my age or younger might not like know who those people are. But I always had an affinity for all those.
Interesting, because like that was like in the 90s, which you were born. So like 96 is like when they were on, which is the year you were born. So it's interesting. So did he have them on like DVD or something? Was showing them to you guys?
Yeah, we would watch like the Chris Farley like SNL DVD special.
Those are the best, where you can see like all their highlights, like Phil Hartman and all that. That was just such a good era of SNL. Like I feel like it'll never be recreated.
I know. Comedy is kind of in a stale point at this time.
Yeah, and I wonder if it's like because we're in it. It's like, will anyone look back and look at them like we look at Chris Farley and so I don't know.
Yeah,
maybe, but yeah, I kind of feel the same. Especially with movies, there's no like good movies that come out anymore.
Right.
Norm Macdonald was so good. He had such a good podcast too. His podcast, or he had a show on Netflix that was so good. I just loved his sense of humor too.
I loved his voice. He had like that raspy.
Yeah.
He was just so funny. I think he got fired from SNL actually because he was like he would just like say stuff and they'd be like, whoa.
Just like off the cuff stuff.
Yeah. Like
I love that.
Stuff about like OJ Simpson, and he just would, like as a comedian, I feel like a good comedian like pokes the bear.
Yeah.
And he would do that for
like
sure.
takes the risks and stuff like that. I feel like you should do SNL. Like perform on there.
I would love to. That's like definitely. I feel like a lot of artists. That's like the big career milestone. But
do you think still?
I
feel like because you're so nostalgic, you would love it. I don't know. I guess it is kind of big now.
Yeah, I think it kind of puts a marker where like you've made it if you're like performing on SNL in a way.
Yeah, I feel like you made it because you perform at Pride. I feel
Thank you, right?
That's
my making it. I prefer that. I love the scene that I'm a part of. Like I love the gays.
You're like actually a gay icon, which proves on Twitter. Like just everybody mentions you all the time in my mentions. Before I even ask like what guest should I have, people just be like, look, get at Slayyyter on the podcast. Like today even like really? I didn't even ask. It's like wild. It's so crazy.
I feel like you're a gay icon too, though. That's why there's like it kind of like it overlaps,
Yeah, right. Kind of makes sense. Well, I definitely like everything you do. I was like, this makes sense because I like want to do it too. And it was specifically Pride because you were like at the original Pride, right? You were at the one before it was like West Hollywood, or was it West Hollywood?
I think it was West Hollywood.
Because there was like a Hollywood. Yeah.
Yeah, there's like two now.
Right. So you were in June. You performed. Okay. So what year was this? Was this 2021?
I think 2021 or 2022.
So 1 year after like moving to LA, you're like performing Pride.
Yeah.
Which is so. Do you have like management that help you? I always ask because I don't know any managers or anything like that.
Oh yeah, when I first started putting music online, like I think a couple months into it, this guy hit me up on Twitter, and I was so like green to everything. So I was like, Mom, like this guy wants to manage me. Like I don't know if it's legit. And he flew to St. Louis, my manager Kenny, and we've been working together for like 5 years. But he's like so great. You can get really unlucky in situations like that where it's like someone who's like seedy or like wants to take advantage of you, or like he always has had my best interest in her heart, and he's like a music business like nerd, like he like knows what he's doing, and he's great,
and so he gets you all these like opportunities and stuff like that.
Yeah
so cool. I always wondered, I'm like, how do people get to perform at Pride? Like that really
it's like
is
agents. You get like, and you work with like an agency that like books your shows, and then you have like a manager who kind of does like the catch-all of everything.
And then, so you have both. You have both.
Yeah.
Doing that. Oh, that's so cool.
Yeah.
And then you just tell him, like, this is what I want to do, and he makes it happen.
Yeah.
Wow.
I mean, within reason. Right. Sometimes I'm like, if I was like, I want to perform on SNL, he'd probably be like, okay.
But don't you think he could make it happen? I feel like.
No, you need to be like big. You need to like have like, you need to have songs like going.
What about that one that went viral, though, and no one knew who they were? You remember Greta Von Fleet? Or something.
Oh yeah.
I feel like they weren't big before at SNL, and then they did SNL, and it kind of went viral.
Yeah.
I feel like I feel like sometimes they bring on random people, then they just become huge.
You have to have like a really, I don't know, you have to like really have like, there's got to be some connection in there.
I wonder if it's like, I guess you'd have to like tone down your act a little bit because like your tour, what you just finished it, right? You were just in Australia.
Yeah.
Club Valentine was that. So that started last year in Boston.
Yeah.
So you've been touring 6 months or how long?
A couple. I kind of will have breaks on and off in between, but yeah, it started in like November of last year. And then I had like a bit of an off period, and then in the new year I went and did like the rest of my tour in UK and then Australia, and then now I'm kind of off for the year, which is nice.
Oh, really? There's no tour planned?
Like, I have like festivals all summer, but not like a hefty like full date like run. I'm like not doing that for a while.
Yeah. Do you produce your own show, or do you have like help with that?
I have help. I work with a touring company, Beehive, that's really great, and I kind of just will be like, I want to do this vibe, and they kind of make it work.
It's amazing. And all your costumes are so good. That's what I was thinking about SNL. I was like, which of those costumes could you wear? Because they're all like S&M, like latex. I mean, they're hot.
Literally.
I guess you probably could. I mean, if Lady Gaga can wear that stuff on SNL, you probably could.
True. I would love to have you to a show sometime. Oh my gosh. I feel like...
Dream.
Right?
Watching you perform just online, the stuff I saw, is like, this is like my kind of show. It's just so, I don't even know how you describe it. Because it's Britney, but it also feels very like intimate too. It's very like club kid. Like I don't know how to.
Yeah. It's like a little bit of both. It's kind of like theater, but it's also, like I feel like I'm very club kid vibes in the way I like to like perform and just like run around and scream and, you know.
And the outfits and the chaos of it all. Yeah. It's so much fun. It's also very like draggy too. It's very that.
Absolutely.
Which is like fun. I don't know. You really embody all of it, which I think is.
Thank you.
Were you a theater kid?
Kind of. Somewhat. I was in choir and in high school, I was like pretty rebellious towards the end of like my high school career. So like there came a time where I was like, hang out with like the skater boys and I wanted them to think I was cool and I was like, yeah, theater's lame, and I'd like smoke cigarettes outside of like skip class. But I always loved theater and I love musicals, like I love Andrew Lloyd Webber and like all of that, but I was never in like my choir director would be like, you should audition for Singing in the Rain. I'd be like, no. Like even though I know that I love that musical, like, I would kill it. And I know it like the back of my hand, and I love that movie. But yeah.
Oh, so you never did? You never like auditioned for plays?
Yeah,
then?
Not really. I would do solos in choir, and that was like my big one. That was like my big thing.
Wow. And what would you guys sing in choir? What kind of show tunes? Were you like Glee?
Some of it was like actual like choral a cappella like religious music, and then sometimes we would do this thing called like Best of Broadway Taste of Jazz, where we would like perform like West Side Story songs or like Wicked, but it wasn't like the play, it was just like plucked songs.
Oh, that's fun. So that's like a little bit of like the theater in you.
Yeah.
So did you just watch movies? You said you loved Andrew Lloyd Webber, so would you go see the plays or would you watch the movies?
I would watch the movies. Like the 70s, like Jesus Christ Superstar is like one of my faves of all time. Yeah.
Wow, I love that that's the one you pick. Over Phantom of the Opera. You're like, I like that one.
I do. I saw Phantom of the Opera in Chicago, and that was really great. That's like, if you're like playing Christine, you got to have some crazy operatic pipes, which like I love, you know.
So, you can sing opera, right?
A little bit. I like, if I had a coach and I really like tried, I feel like I could. I can sing pretty high, but I'm not that like classically trained. So I'm like, whatever I'm doing, I feel like I'm like hurting my voice.
Oh, I know.
I just start wailing and everyone's like, oh my God.
I wonder that too, like how people, even you on tour, it's like, how do you keep your voice?
Yeah, just tea and like, you kind of have to like go on vocal rest, which is, I'm such a chatty
I was gonna say, how do
girl.
you stop talking?
I can't.
I mean, just because I've seen you in so many interviews and you are such a chatter.
I love to talk. So it's really tough. But like everyone will be like, stop. And I'll be like, okay, and they're like, stop talking.
I don't think I could do it.
Yeah.
Even now my voice is like hoarse just because we did a podcast yesterday and I just talk so much. And I'm like, how do singers do it when you're like belting and
yeah.
Have you ever had any vocal damage?
No, not damage. I mean, I'm sure I like will lose my voice because like I have some songs where I just like scream. So I'm like, I've lost it for sure, but nothing bad. Like
nothing
hopefully,
crazy.
Like fingers crossed, I don't get like what is it? Nodes people get?
Oh yeah, nodes. And we just saw Donny Osmond last week. He said he got like nodules or something. Like he said something where like
nodules,
bursted.
Yeah.
Like mid performance, he did Joseph, and he said like the last song something just like busted his like he had to get like surgery on it and stuff like that. And I was like,
Donny Osmond, he's still like
he's amazing,
incredible.
He did Joseph with Andrew Lloyd Webber, and that's like one of my all time favorite. And he's going back and he's my favorite. And so we just saw him last week in Vegas.
Oh my God, amazing!
I love him. I just think, and he's literally like the nicest person ever. So that's why I like. Yeah, he's kind of Britney Spears.
Yeah.
I don't know. I love like, again, just like the old nostalgia. We send like musical theater. That's like my jam for sure.
Yeah.
But I can never sing, so I can never be in a play.
You're theatrical though. Like you have like the theatery, like you're like a theater girl.
I wish I was. I think I was the opposite of you, where the theater kids thought I was a loser. So I like couldn't get into it. Yeah.
The theater kids were not cool at my school.
Really?
Absolutely not.
Maybe it was like Glee made it cool or something like later on. I don't know. But
I think Glee made it worse.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I loved Glee. I was like, I wish I could be in this.
I loved Glee, but it was like the thing that I would be like I'd watch it with my mom and people would school. I'd be like, I don't watch Glee. That's just stupid.
It's cringy. Yeah. Like looking back now, it's like so cringe and like also so like racist and problematic. I was like, how did this get on here?
How was that on air?
It's wild. I guess Ryan Murphy just being absolutely wild.
Just doing it.
Yeah. You mentioned your mom and dad a lot. So you're like close with them.
I'm close with my mom. My dad's a bit of like my dad's weird. I'm like daddy issues girl for sure. He's like, yeah, I don't really have a relationship with my dad, but it's one of those things. He's very like Frank from Shameless, I would describe him as. Like,
oh, okay.
Yeah, but like at the same time, like when you watch Shameless, you're like, Frank's like funny and like as an adult, I can appreciate like the things he would show me and like as like weird and crazy as he is, I'd be like, you know, he would like taught me all this stuff about like music and all these different things. So you know, you kind of get older and you start to like not resent your parents as much. You like feel bad for them, but yeah, he's weird.
Do you talk to him now?
Not really.
Not really.
He's kind of sick. He like has like he's like on kidney dialysis and he's like yeah, but he's not a great guy, but it's when you get older, I feel like if you have issues with parents, you kind of like grow out of that like fuck you, I hate you, like you're a bad dad. Like you kind of start to feel like empathy more for like him and his life and his childhood. So I don't really talk to him, but I don't have like bad like will for him.
Yeah.
You
it's
know?
just better separate.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was like that too. I had daddy issues for sure. I didn't talk to him for like 10 years. But then they get older too, and you're just like, okay, they're getting older.
You're gonna die soon. I might as well.
You're like, how many holidays do I have
Let's
left?
wrap this up. Like, Merry Christmas, Happy Birthday.
Right, because my dad's wife, I definitely don't like, but I like put up with. I'm like, all right, if I'm gonna see my dad, it's like, but sometimes it's better to just, like you said, be amicably apart. Yeah.
Yeah.
He sounded like he was a cool guy though, showing you like SNL and stuff like that.
Yeah, he was definitely, he had such a strange personality. He was very like Rain Man vibes. He like knew everything about baseball and like celebrities and actors and this comedian and this person in 19 blah blah blah. So I feel like he would like spitball these facts, and I kind of like have retained a lot of it.
That's so you. Yeah. The fact that you can just like spit out things is like, it is. It's like you said, very Rain Man. Like I'm like, how do you like just pull this knowledge? Like, oh, this happened and he got fired for this. I was like, wow, it's amazing.
Yeah, it's good. I like to know stuff. It's good to know stuff.
Especially, but I'm the same way. But it's also like with celebrities, it's like I have so much useless knowledge. I'm like, why do I have this knowledge? What's that gonna help in life?
It's not, but I mean, to me, it's more useful than like math in my field.
Yeah, and it's more exciting. I always thought that in school when we were learning math or science. I'm like, I'm never gonna use this. Like, I just want to learn about pop culture. So where would you learn besides your dad? Would you be like reading tabloids? Were you watching reality shows? Like,
oh yeah, my sister. I have a sister who's 4 years older, and she was like The Hills. Like she was like your classic teen girl. She had MySpace and all this stuff that I was just a little bit too young for. She would show me like MySpace artists, and she would show me just all kind of different things in that world, and would be like, oh my God, Lauren Conrad is the queen, and like all this stuff. And like she kind of like introduced me to like the OC and like all these things, and I feel like it made me really love like Hollywood culture.
That's why you're drawn to California.
Yeah.
What you saw on TV. I was very much the same way. Watching like Girls Next Door or something, you're just like, I want to be that, I
want to be blonde. I want to be like on the beach.
Or Baywatch or any of those things.
Yeah.
That's pretty crazy. And then when you moved out by yourself, you moved straight to Beverly Hills. Mm-hmm. Quarantine time, so you can't really like do much. Are you like a party girl now? Can you like live it up now because you couldn't back then?
Yeah, definitely. I feel like I've had my party phases here and there. I've been like, I go through like sober phases and party phases, but I feel like now, I just love nightlife. Nightlife is fun. I feel like I'll get to a point where I'm like done drinking probably for good, but I love a good party. I love a good after party.
Oh, what's the after party? And so you like go to
better than the party itself sometimes.
Really?
Yeah.
What happens? Even as a young person, I never went out. Like I just never got. I didn't know where these parties were.
Really?
What is like where? How do you get the invite? What happens? It's
always like someone who knows someone is like, oh, like you'll be at like the main party, and then if you're like annoying like me, you'll like sniff around like, where's everyone going after this? Like blah blah blah.
Oh, so you ask around.
Yeah, and then you end up just like smoking cigarettes in someone's kitchen till like 9 a.m, and it's never good. It's never that fun, but I love it.
Kind of sounds fun. It kind of sounds like a vibe. Just I know cigarettes, not to promote it, but I know they're coming back now. Everyone's smoking them. Yeah. Like, is this the new trend? Vaping's out.
Everyone's like, vaping's bad for you. Smoke cigs.
Do you think it's? I wonder. Someone said that they said vaping is worse than cigarettes.
I kind of agree in a way. Like with cigarettes, we've known for a long time. Like what you're putting in your body, but with vapes, it's like I feel like in like 20 years, like when people will see the actual effects of what doing that at a young age has done, everyone's gonna be like, oh,
because there's like chemical. I don't even get it, but there's like chemicals in it or something like that.
Well, anything that's like this tastes like fruit juice and it gives me a buzz. Like that's not gonna be.
It's like great. What is it actually?
Yeah, seriously.
Ooh, that sounds fun. And so with the album Starter, are you a starter?
In ways, I think we all are.
Yeah, wait, I wish I could have been. I feel like I didn't get access to the stars.
I feel like you don't even have to have sex with the celebrity to like be a starfucker in a way.
I thought that's what it was.
Well, it is in a way. This is like, I guess this, I don't know if I've said this before, but like I named it that because like an ex-boyfriend of mine who like was a starfucker.
Oh, he was the
who like I always was like, I remember one of our last like phone calls we had as a joke. I was like, and you're such a starfucker. And he was like, don't flatter yourself. Like, you're like no star. And I was like,
oh my God.
Right? I was like, well, but yeah, like I feel like I've met people who it's like they keep like proximity to like children of famous people or like just all these random people. And it's like almost calculated in a way where it's like, they're like, oh yeah, like blah, blah, blah is like does this or that's like that person's kid. And it's like, I don't know, like I'm from such a foreign, like Midwest world where like I didn't grow up with famous people. I didn't grow up with, that in my backyard. So
it's exciting.
Yeah, it's exciting for people for sure. But I think also just being in entertainment, like going to these parties, like you meet certain celebrities and you're like, you are like not that cool.
Really?
Like you're like not very nice. And like the like bubble, people like think celebrity, it's just this magical thing and everyone's so cool. And I don't know, like it's not all it's cracked up to be sometimes.
You get disappointed by it for sure. Yeah. I feel like I know you see some. I feel like the A-list ones are always like super nice. Like I feel like the Quentin Tarantinos, like Eminem, they're super cool. But then you mean like the D-list ones, and they're the ones that are kind of like more rowdy, like Andy Dick or something.
Yeah.
You know?
I hear glam people talk about this a lot, where it's like the smaller the star, the bigger the diva.
Yes, always.
Yeah.
And specific, and glam they know because they work with everyone. You know, so they're like, they're.
Yeah.
Usually, I guess it's just to make up for something. Yeah, because the big ones are always like so nice. I feel.
Yeah. You know, I hear stories about like Kim Kardashian, how she like remembers everyone's name, and she's very personable and like kind to her whole team, and it's always like, I guess it's just like, I don't know,
the ones that like want to feel more important or something.
Yeah. You get like a little taste of like a little bit of fame, and it makes the brain go crazy.
Yeah,
you know?
I know, it really does. You get close to someone and they're like, oh, this is so exciting. Do you like the fame aspect? Because you're actually talented. Do you just like making art, or do you care about the fame or the money? What makes your kitty go purr?
What makes my drugs? I care about the drugs and the
Molly,
alcohol. Yeah. I honestly, I feel like I love making art. I would be making music if I didn't have a social media platform. I started without one. So it's like, I love to create. I love making stuff. People paying attention. It's always nice, you know, to like get a career kind of going and to reach certain accolades and making money. But like at the end of the day, like I would be happy like living in like a cabin in Missouri, like making songs in a closet still.
Wow.
Like living by the river, like, you know.
Really? You really think? Do you think you'll ever go back one day and do that?
Yeah, I don't know if I'd move back to St. Louis because I'm from like the suburbs. I would love to like move somewhere like kind of like rural and like really like be alone, you know.
Oh, so you're like, so that's interesting because you're a party girl and you're out there, but you like to be alone.
Yeah.
So would you say you're like an extroverted introvert?
Definitely.
Interesting.
Definitely.
So you like value your alone time?
Yes.
Do you live
much
alone?
So. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. So you can, I loved living alone too for like, well, it was until I didn't. And then I was like, I'm lonely. But for like 15 years, I lived alone. I like loved it. That's interesting. So when you're alone and you're not writing music, what are you doing?
Having like a mental breakdown of some sort, probably.
So relatable.
Probably. Being alone is good though. It helps the art. Like I feel like if I'm around people all the time, I don't have those really like depressive moments where I can make something like poignant and thoughtful and like put it in music about like certain things. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Like it takes like kind of like feeling alone to like have the drive to be like, oh, that's when I get like my best ideas, is like being alone for like, you know, consecutive days.
Yeah. Because your music too, like you know, most people draw inspiration from like Heartache or something like that, but because yours is so like Hollywood centric, erotic, hypersexual, like where does it come from? Is that really you, or do you think it's like a character? Like Slayyyter's a version of you?
I mean, I feel like it's a heightened version of myself. Like I feel like all my music is pretty tongue in cheek about stuff, but like at the same time, you know, any party or event I go to, like I'm always like the drunkest one there.
Yeah, so that's you kind of.
Yeah, like I'm always like the one getting in trouble. So I feel like for some people it kind of is like a persona, but like I definitely like I get down.
You embody it a little bit.
Yeah, for sure. But you know, I don't know. I also feel like I'm a little more like sad girl than my music people would believe, you know.
Really? Like you as a person?
Yeah, for sure. Like I feel like I can like get emo and listen to some like old like sad country music, but like no one would like think of me in that way because my music's like drugs, Molly, blah, 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 you know.
They're like, you should do, because country's very in again with Beyonce doing like covers of Jolene, and you dress like, this is the second time I've seen you kind of country dress, because on Metamorphosis you're kind of, well, you were Nomi Malone there.
Yeah.
But this is the same vibe. So would you ever completely change genres like that?
I don't know if I'd completely change genres, but I would definitely do like a country ballad, like an old school like Loretta Lynn like type of song on an album, but it would be like mixed in with like club music, you know.
Yeah, just do like every genre, because you said sad, like you can have like a little bit of sadness, and you could do like a little emo song.
Emo moments.
Oh my god, could you write different genres, do you think?
I think so. I think that writing a good song is really just about what you're feeling, like how you kind of put feelings you're having into like the context of a song. It could be any genre or anything, but it's like if what you're saying, people connect to it, like I think that makes a good song. So.
Well, because you've been writing songs since how old were you when you started?
I mean, I've been writing songs. I got like a guitar for Christmas one year when I was young, and I would like try to write songs then, but I feel like probably like 2016 is when I was taking it like a little more serious.
Wow.
And like that's when I dropped out of college to like try to do music, and I went home and I was a waitress and I worked at a hair salon and all this stuff, and that whole time I was like writing songs and like working on like Slayyyter as like a internet. I was kind of like an e-girl, like I was like a hoe, like I wasn't
really.
It didn't start as music. I was like doing camming and I was doing like Findom and all this random stuff, and like my day jobs on the side, and I would like use the money to like buy beats from producers and like make visuals and stuff.
Wow. I kind of knew a little bit about this because I know I read something that you said like people weren't like respecting you after doing like sex work.
Yeah.
Did you find that to be true now still, or do you think people kind of it's in the past? Because you bring it up a lot, which I think is admirable. Like I like to talk about my stuff too. But.
Yeah, for sure. I don't know. It when I first started in music, I was probably like 22, and having been a cam girl and being like vocal about that, or being like, oh yeah, like I did like sex work, this and that. There's like men in the industry, like some like really weird. I was just treated very weird by like people. Like it's a very predatory industry, and like I'm not trying to like whistleblow or like whatever about stuff, but I feel like I was like treated like inappropriately almost compared to someone who would get into music and be like, oh, like I'm a singer-songwriter and I make really like deep music and I play guitar. Like because I was so brash, my songs were about like my like and like really like horny stuff. Like these men would like sit in these rooms with me and they'd kind of just be like, it was creepy. Like, you know what I mean?
Interesting.
Yeah.
And so would you go to these by yourself, or would you go with like a manager? Because I wondered if it makes a difference if you're with a guy versus you by yourself.
I would go with a manager. And so people would never like in like meetings and things, they would never do too much, but I could always just like tell. I would get like DMs from people after having said meetings and they'd be like saying inappropriate stuff, or like someone wanted to be like a Findom sub for me, and I was like, they were like worked at a label, and I was like, you like, no ma'am, like I thought this was, we were doing business here, like what is going on? But yeah.
And you never want, like, okay,
they've since been like canceled and fired, so like I didn't even have to say anything. It was like other people were like, he did this to me too.
It does
and I was
happen.
Like, yeah,
and I know I always wait for those moments. Not wait for it, but like, yeah, people who've like done me wrong in the past. I like wait for a couple other people to say it, and then I could like just tell my story too. Because you never, I admire the people who do that first, but I never want to be the first.
No,
you know, because it's just like scary. You don't know how it's gonna be,
and like I feel like it kind of sets you up. You don't want to be. I don't ever want to be known for like that kind of stuff. Like I would rather just keep it to myself, and where there's smoke, there's fire, and things. You know, things see the light at the end of the day.
Right? Do you ever feel like you're like, well, this is my image, this is my brand, it's to be expected?
Yeah, sometimes.
Which is like the word, it's like you shouldn't feel that way, but I always think that too with me. I'm like, well, I did do it. I guess people think they should just make it inappropriate jokes because you did this.
It's like, what's so wrong with doing it either? It's like, I really feel like that at the core is like, people are just so judgmental, but it's at the end of the day, it's like, so what? Like, yeah, like I posted my boobs.
Right.
Oh no. Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh my God. What are we going to do? Like,
right.
So not that big of a deal. Really, you know, like you can have multiple sides as like a human, or even like Sasha Grey. She's like one of my favorite porn stars ever. Such a smart, intelligent person, was like iconic, like so cool. And like, it's like, yeah, like it doesn't matter, you know, like, I don't know.
The big porn stars too, they're so about it just being work, you know what I mean? And then they do these mainstream things. They have their clothing lines, like Riley Reid, all these people, they're like really smart. And it's like Lana Rhoades, you know, they do their like podcasts, they do all this stuff. And I'm like, I think people definitely underestimate people who do sex work. They think it's just like you said, but it's such a business, and to make like the money you make off of it is like really. Were you making good money?
Yeah.
Camming? So was it hard to like leave?
It kind of was. At the same time, I feel like I wanted to just like fully like thrust into music, and like my mom, I was like living with my mom and like doing this stuff in my bedroom, and like she did not like know.
Yeah.
So there was like a bit of, it was like a weird dynamic of that where I was like, okay, I should probably stop. But you know, for like a girl that works like minimum wage like hair salon job, like that side money was like crucial to me starting music. You know what I mean? So it's like, I don't know, people can judge, but like, it's like, I don't know, born hustler. Sorry.
Same. I was like 32 when I was like, I'm going to get into some porn or something like that. I was like, you know, I did it for 6 months. I'm like, it's kind of fun. And yeah, like you kind of do what you like, you know, if you, especially music is so expensive. And if you're like starting self-funding it, like you have to find ways to make it happen.
Yeah.
And I feel like that's admirable. I don't know.
Yeah.
I always was like not tempted, but like you always hear about casting couch situations. I never actually was in those situations, but I always thought, would I do that? Because I was so hypersexual in my 20s and I actually like liked having sex. Like, I probably would have like done it. I guess it depends. If it's like Harvey Weinstein versus like a hot director like Eli Roth or something.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Definitely. Well, and also it's like when you're young, like, I don't know, there were definitely A&Rs who would reach out and then they would meet with just me directly sometimes. And it would like almost feel like it was like some kind of weird date. Like I'd be like, are you reaching out to me for my music, or is it because you see my like titty pics online, and like this is like, so it gets weird around there. But like also I don't know, I always liked the attention, like daddy issues. I was like, okay, like call me pretty, I don't care, like we'll You'll figure it out.
Because you always hear like there was a success to it. They're like, oh, you only got it from sleeping with the director. I was like, I mean, if it's you can do both, you know, if it's like someone you're into. I don't know. Maybe that's like the wrong message to send, but I always was like intrigued by it just because of movies. Like you said, there's just certain movies and you're just like, it seems glamorous. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Unless it's like Harvey Weinstein, then it's not glamorous. You're like, please don't touch my boobs.
Not so glamorous. No, not so glamorous.
Who is someone that you've been like, have you met anyone that you're like starstruck by where you like can't talk?
Ooh, that's like a good question. Oh man.
Can you say it? We can bleep it to her if you don't want to say the name.
I'm such a jack. I got invited to like a Stella McCartney event and, her father, Paul McCartney. So I saw him and he's at this event and it was like this was like the most star-studded thing I had been invited to. It was like some like Adidas Stella McCartney thing. And, like the people who invited me, like, thank you so much. Like, it was so great. But like, once again, like I was like, got sauced, like the drunkest person in the room. I was going around. I was like, John Mayer's here. Like, I like couldn't, I've like, like it gags me. Like, I'm not gonna like sit there and be like, yeah, like I don't care about anyone like this. It was like, cool.
You're like, yeah.
And I saw Paul McCartney was like sitting with his family and I was like, I'm gonna go say something. Like, I'm gonna go, I can't, if I don't say it now, like I'll have never said hi. Like, and he's like a Beatle. Like that would be just so cool. I'll keep it brief. And I walk up and I was just like, you're such a good dad.
Oh.
Like, what a weird thing to say. I don't know why I said that.
I kind of live for that, though.
Yeah, I was just like, you're so cool. And I was like, I love you. I love your music. And, like, I think his wife was sitting next to him. And she saw someone behind me with, like, a camera because they were, like, taking a picture. And she was like, no pictures, no pictures. And I was like, thank you. I love you. Bye. And I, like, left.
Did you get a picture then? No.
Well, I mean, yeah.
Was it you? Were you taking the picture?
It was her.
I live for that. I'm the same way. I usually get embarrassed. Like, he'll be always, like, filming. And I'm like, stop filming. But then after, I'm like so grateful. I'm like, oh my God,
you have
like a picture. Yeah. Because it's just like the moment of it. And someone like Paul McCartney, like.
He's one of the most legendary people still living. Like,
wow. Did he say anything back to you?
Yeah, he was really nice. He was really nice. And I was just like gooped. Like, I was like, like, because, like, I don't know. Like, he's just a legend. So he was really nice. I kept it so brief. Like, I know when it's like, you keep it to like a 15-second interaction. And he was like, oh, thank you so much.
Really?
Yeah, he's like, thank you. It's very nice of you.
Wow.
And I was like,
that's good. At least he didn't give like a shun off or something. He like acknowledged you.
Yeah, I got to like hear his voice, which was cool. His accent, thank you so much.
That was so good too. The Liverpool accent. Were you a Beatles fan?
Yes.
So
I loved the Beatles.
Like old music from 60s too.
I grew up, my mom was super into the Beatles, loved the Beach Boys. She loved Michael Jackson. She was like a huge Elton John fan. I feel like Elton John was like a big, like kind of like idol in my life before I got to like the Gagas and the Britneys that inspired my music. Yeah, I loved Elton John. The costumes and the sunglasses, and he was like, I love Elton John.
I didn't know much about him, and then I saw the movie, and I was like, oh, the costumes are cool. I didn't know he dressed like that in the 70s. I was like, that's pretty cool.
He was like the Rhinestone King, which I know you love rhinestoning. That's like my side hobby. I'm like a bling girl.
Wait, really?
Yeah, I rhinestone a lot of props in my music and stuff. I like rhinestoned like a whole human heart. I've rhinestoned like a gun. Like I love.
And you do it yourself? Mm-hmm. How long does it take to like rhinestone something?
It takes a while. I'll usually put a movie on. It's like multiple days of like many hours of like gluing, and you get like the wax tip pen and you do it, blah blah blah.
Oh my God. I would never have the patience to do that.
Yeah,
we have a huge tiger upstairs that's like blinged out, and it took like literally 3 months for someone to bling it.
Oh my God.
It's great. I wish I could bling our whole house, like our refrigerator. Do you bling like stuff in your apartment?
Sometimes. Like I have like, it's mostly props. I've never done anything that's like too big or crazy. I've done like costumes before. Like when I first started, I was like rhinestoning like my stage costumes that I would wear.
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Yeah. Elton John and you are like right up there. The glasses you wore on the Maddie interview, were those?
Oh yeah.
Did you do them?
No, those were like Gucci. Yeah.
Because I was looking them up. I was like, oh, those look so good.
Thank you.
You did the Nomi Malone, like even your nails today give me like Nomi Malone vibes.
Oh my gosh.
And
that's my favorite movie.
I love that movie. Oh, I love your nails. Maybe you could do mine sometime. She's like, on second thought, I'm getting too old for the horror look.
That horror look.
Speaking of horror trashy.
That is actually like, I feel like Showgirls is so funny because it's like it's like known as like a bad movie, like a B movie, but it is so the music industry to a T. Like the way girls are with each other and the whole like, darling, and like they're friends at first and then like the whole like pushing down the stairs. Like I'm like, that is so music. Like,
oh yeah,
you know what I mean? Like it's so funny.
It's always someone younger coming up those stairs. And
it's younger and hungrier coming up those stairs, darling.
And she's like, and she gets it. At the end of the movie, Jane Gershon's like, I love that movie more than anything. And then when I saw Ariana redo it, because we redid it for my maternity pictures, I had to be Kyle MacLachlan and I wanted to be Nomi. But then I saw Ariana redoing it. with Liz Gilly. That's like, oh, that's so iconic that everyone's like loving this movie again.
That like gagged me too, because like it was like the settings, like I don't know what green screen they did, but it looked like actual from the movie. Like it was so crazy.
Real.
She like turns out the Halloween costumes.
Oh yeah, they go
the best in show.
Yeah. So good.
So
and like
good.
you said, they're kind of like old. They're like old references. So I love that the Showgirls is like people who haven't seen it, especially the uncensored. I used to watch it censored on VH1 where they wouldn't show like the pool scene, but you watch it uncensored. To me, that's still like one of the hottest, most erotic things to me. I love it. I just love stuff like that.
Yeah. It was back during a time I feel like movies had a lot of eroticism like threaded in it, and it like looking back, people are like, oh my God, that was so tacky, or like, you know, Body Double, so tacky, like how like, but it's like, it was like, that was the thing.
Oh yeah, it was everything.
Yeah.
And just her doing like the lap dance and just being crazy
and
with
like,
it.
Woo!
Just like, I mean, it was the most wild thing ever. And I was like, and I wanted to become a stripper because of that movie. I was like, I'm going to be that, you know what I mean?
Like it's fierce.
Yes,
right?
It's so fierce. It still is. I mean, that whole thing. So when I saw you dress like her and then the nails, I was like, did you do your own nails? Do you bling them?
These are from Amazon.
No.
Yeah.
Wait, are they press-on?
Yeah, they're press-ons.
Oh my God.
I just typed in like Jesus cross nails.
No, wait, Jesus. Oh, is it Jesus on there?
Yeah, there's like a cross. I don't know if it's Jesus.
Okay.
There's angel.
Yeah, little angel. I need to get that because I like the press-ons too.
Yeah, I can't commit to like acrylics all the time. I feel like I need like dexterity of my hands.
Oh, same. I used to be an acrylic girly and I just cannot do it anymore. But I do love a good press-on. Yeah, you went to Catholic school, right?
I did.
Oh my God. So what was that like?
That was pretty crazy. I went like kindergarten through 8th grade, and then I went to a public high school because like my family, we were like on what do you call it? Like financial support. Like the priest at our school was like, we couldn't afford tuition, but he like let us go because like he was like, like my mom wanted us to have a Catholic education, so they like did us a favor. But it was like, yeah, it was weird because it was like all my classmates like were from really wealthy families, like, and I wasn't, and I lived down the street from this golf course, like, or that they all like belonged to this country club, and like I didn't, and I was just like, I was like not cool in middle school.
Really?
I loved Lady Gaga. I just was they were all super preppy kids, and I just felt like I was like a bit of like a freakier
Lady Gaga. I feel like Lady Gaga wasn't cool. I don't know. That's again, we're like a decade apart, so I didn't know. I thought Lady Gaga was cool, but she wasn't. Like she
wasn't cool. Like everyone in my class was like, she's a freak, like blah blah blah.
To like demonic or something back then, maybe. Yeah.
But to me, she was like magical. Like I just loved her.
And how would they know you liked her? Because I saw pictures of you younger and you kind of look like just kind of normal, just like a normal kid.
I mean, yeah, I wasn't like edgy or anything, but I just would like talk about music. I also in middle school, because everyone like didn't like me, like I felt the need to be like, I was really like insufferable about like music and what I was listening to, and I was like, you know, into like Vampire Weekend and like all these like indie bands and like all this stuff, and yeah, I was just like annoying.
You're like playing the part. You're like, I'm gonna be an outcast. Let me show you how
like,
outcast I can be.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah.
Okay, that makes sense. Okay, so that's interesting. So they knew you weren't from a wealthy family, so they're just like, oh, we don't like you or something?
Not even like that. I just didn't fit in very well because of it. And like there were like girls who were cool, and then there was like a group of girls who were not so cool. And I just didn't really click with anyone, so I kind of just did my own thing overall. But then public school was great. I like met like a gay person for the first time, and I was like, rock
life
on.
changing.
Yeah, life changing.
Yeah.
Like, you like Lady Gaga, me too.
Oh,
like,
yeah, that's the best. My first gay person I met when I was 18 when I was in LA, and I was like, this is everything.
Yeah.
Like, nobody was out in our school, but I definitely was friends with the kids that were definitely gay, but they just like weren't out. And when you meet your first gay person, it's very exciting.
It's very exciting. I feel like I found my people, like my common ground. Because my Catholic school that I went to, my class was like 20 people. Like it was so small, so small. We had all known each other our whole lives, grown up together. And everyone went on to go to like the Catholic high schools, and I went to this public school that had a really good music program, and it ended up being fine, and like you know,
finding your people in your school, I think that's like so important. Because when you're not around people that are like you or like, but 20 people, I mean, what are the chances you're gonna find someone that like is like you?
Exactly.
Especially because you're so like different. Did you always know that you were like different?
Yeah. I always felt different, and I always like, I loved music so much, and I always knew that I wanted to be a movie star. I wanted to be like in music. Like I wanted to do all these things, and I feel like people in my class would not have the same, like, they'd be like, I want to be a nurse, or like, I want to be a doctor. And I just was like, that life of staying in St. Louis, it just wasn't for me. Like I wanted to go to New York City and all this stuff, and you know,
be like the movies.
Yeah.
Interesting. Did you ever try New York first? Did you ever try it at all?
No, I've been to New York a lot in my like time of doing music, but I feel like I kind of just ended up moving to LA first. There's more music producers here. The scene is a little bit more here.
Yeah, I guess New York is maybe, I don't know, fashion, theater.
It's like cooler. There's like a music scene there, but it's not the same. There's not like as many producers to like be working with constantly out there. But I know a bunch of people who live out there that make music, and they're sick. And like, you know, New York is always like so cool, and everyone's kind of like early on trends and stuff. But I don't know if like a busy city like that is my vibe.
Well, you could walk everywhere. You said you don't drive, so I was like, I guess New York. But you're in a good spot in LA where you can like walk. It's so interesting. And so, do you think the driving thing is interesting? You're like, I don't drive, and that's just because you just like don't want to learn, scared to learn.
I'm just like I never have needed to so far, and like Uber became a thing. Like, my friends all got their licenses first, so like I never needed to in high school.
Right.
And my mom would always be like, you need to like get your permit, get your license, and then. Yeah, I'm just like, I've tried to get behind the wheel, and it would just like end with like a panic attack and me being like, Mom, like you need to get in the car. Like I can't, like you need to drive.
It's a lot. Driving can be a lot for sure. I just like tone back on it. When you said before, you're like, if you're not making music, like you'll be having mental breakdowns. Do you actually have like breakdowns? Do you get anxiety for real?
Oh, yeah.
You do?
I get really freaked out about like life and music, and honestly just like being perceived. Like I go back and forth of being like, I wish I could just like delete all my social media and like disappear. Like I don't like people like talking about me or like, you know, but it's just a part of it. And like I have a thick skin, so it's not even like mean comments that like set me off. It's more just like people having ideas of like who I am or like what I'm like as a person that is like bad. And it like weirds me out, and it gets like, I'm like, this is dystopian that you think we have this parasocial relationship. Like you don't know me. Like what it's like, it's too much.
Do you respond to anyone ever and like try to correct people? Like, this is not it. This is not wrong. You have it wrong.
Sometimes, and then my manager's just like, "Girl, like get out of these fans' DMs. Like, what are you doing?"
Oh, you're like DM like privately. You don't even do it publicly. You're like, hey.
I'll be like, "What you say? It's not even true because blah blah blah." And like, it's I don't know.
What's like the craziest speculation fans have had about you?
I don't know. I feel like people just think I'm like a bad person, or that I like. I don't know what the deal is. It's just, you know, like fans, like fan drama, like fans of other artists, like they always like are putting people against each other that don't even like have beef, but it's like, it'll be like other fandoms, I guess. Or yeah, just sometimes people talking about like my character, like, you know, I got canceled for, like whatever. They just think I'm like a bad person.
That's so weird, because everything I've like researched about you, I feel like there's so much just love. I like didn't see any craziness. Like, I didn't see.
Now, like I won't have a mental breakdown then.
Yeah. No, everyone like really loves you, and I've seen like what you're saying with the fandoms, like the Kim Petra stuff, and all, because just the similar vibes. But it's just like, I think that's just like fans in general. We just talked about
that's been going on for years and years and years.
Really?
Of music. Yeah. There's like, I mean, there's always when there's like female artists, there's like fans of each artist that like they have like beef with each other, like Lady Gaga and Madonna, or like, you know what I mean? Like there's always like that kind of I don't know.
They just recently, did you see the Dua Lipa fan show up to the Nicki Minaj fan's house?
No.
It's crazy. My co-host just told me about this yesterday. Stan Twitter. There's these, you know, Stan Twitter. There's like a Stan Twitter person that's like, this is my house, come at me. And so one of the Barbs flew to the house.
Oh my God, don't fuck with the Barbs.
Yeah. I didn't even know Dua Lipa and Nicki were like beefy. I didn't know there was beef, but the fans went crazy and they were recording it. It was two gay guys and they're like recording each other. And I think the police ended up showing up to the person who like was trespassing and got them out or something. But yeah, I was like, wow, people really go.
These stans just get gnarly with each other. It reminds me of that video. I forget like who it was about, but it was like, do you remember that? Like, it's like these two gay guys and he's like, girl, you stan Zara Larson. Like, do you remember that video?
No.
They just like fight. They like fight in lines outside of concerts. It's like crazy.
Wait, what? That's so random.
I know. Like, it's, yeah.
That's so funny. I think it's fun. I think the stans are cool, like, especially Stan Twitter. They're so hardcore because they, well, like, your Stan Twitter goes so hard and they have your picture as their profile. And it's always really nice. Like I said, like, I just saw your app over and over, just like throughout the past, like, year. And I was like, wow, it's so crazy.
I love that they got me here.
Well, I didn't even realize, like, I knew you had like a new album out and stuff like that, but I just didn't even realize like the impact you have on people. They just go so hard for you.
Thank you. Yeah. It's like, I feel like I'm like the Showgirls movie of pop stars.
Yes!
Like small but mighty, like not for everyone, but the cult following is there.
Yes, for sure. A goddess moment here. Would you ever do like a Vegas show? Like,
oh, I would love to.
Ooh, like, you remember Peep Show?
Yeah.
Holly did it and then Coco did it. I think Audrey did it. Where it's like topless and singing. Would you ever do that?
Absolutely.
Because that would
after
be
I get my boobs done.
Yeah.
After I get the Rady Rabon, the Rady Raboners.
What's his name? Brady Rabon? I actually really want to go with it. You said he was expensive though, right?
He is. He's like,
20,000?
Yeah, it's like a bougie boob job, but he like specializes in like lift and implant, not just implant. Because if you're like flat chested and you need like implants, that's like not that expensive.
Right.
But I have boobs, but I want like the lift and implant.
They're
like
saggy. I don't mind a saggy boob for sure. Mine are saggy, and I've had the implants like 3 or 4 times.
Oh,
but
really?
I've had a lift so many times, and mine just keep falling. I don't know.
Damn. And then at that point, it's like, so what even, like, why even spend the money?
You just have to keep doing it, I guess.
Yeah.
I don't know. Mine keep getting sick. They'll go nice for like a year, and then they go back, like, whatever. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But yeah, then you could do I think if you got a Vegas show or a Vegas residency, then you could probably do it. You know what I mean?
I would love that.
And people would pay to go see it. And then you'd make the money back. It's like an investment.
Yeah.
You just make it back.
I would love a residency. I would like sing all jazzy. That would be so sick.
That would be so cool. Yeah, I love your voice on like Trouble in Paradise, where you can like really hear your like voice. Because I of course love like the popness of it all, but when you can hear your voice, it's so.
Thank you. I love
nice.
Singing. I've always loved singing.
Do you sing? Are you one of those people who just sings like around the house?
Yeah, which is bad. I feel like my neighbors can hear me, and it's
really?
Like, yeah, I live in one of those old buildings, like all the windows you can hear. Like my neighbor coughs, and I can like hear them.
Oh, so they're really hearing you.
So
sing.
when I like sing or like I'm doing whatever, like I know they can hear it. I'm like, like. I don't know, like sorry or like you're welcome. Like I don't know.
No, I was gonna say it's like a free show.
Yeah,
They're like, we get to hear you every single night, which is great. Do you ever do karaoke?
Oh yeah, I just did karaoke a couple nights ago. Actually.
Where do you go? K-Town?
Max's karaoke studio. It's in like Little Tokyo.
Wait, what?
Yeah, it's like in a mall, and you go up, and it's like that one's really fun. There's like better karaoke places I think in LA, but I went to that one most. It's like
recently. A room with your friends.
Yeah, you do like the room, and you can like order like sake and like do pick your songs.
And how many people will you go with?
I think I went with like 10 people last time. Yeah.
I think I've only gone to those once, but it's like me and one other person, so we're just like singing for each other.
Yeah, we've done that before. We went to a place in Vegas, and it was just me and her like passing the mic off, and I was so annoying. I'd do like Celine Dion, and she'd be like, "How am I supposed to go after like that?" And I'd be like, "I don't know."
It's scary. You're like, try. Yeah. Are you a good singer?
No.
Oh.
I answer for him like, no, she's not.
What's your go-to karaoke song?
Probably like La La Land by Demi Lovato.
Oh my God.
We have a Demi. Okay, yeah, right. So you did Celine Dion.
Yeah. I'm like All by Myself by Celine Dion. Wow. Like that is my fave. Or like Mariah Carey.
Wait, really? What song do you sing by Mariah?
Like We Belong Together is a great karaoke
That's such a
one.
hard song, I feel.
Yeah.
I'm like a late Mariah stan. I'm like really into her now, and I was like, late to the trend.
She's got hits, like hits on hits.
So good. I love the movie Glitter too. I thought that was like such a good movie that she did. I just love her voice. It's everything. Can you do impressions?
It depends on the artist, but
because I heard you do Britney, which is like so. I think it was on Grindr. I think they interviewed you, and you did Every Time, which is my favorite Britney song. I did a cover of it, put it on iTunes. It's like I love that.
I did a cover of Every Time too.
You did? Yes. Is it out?
I took it off of Spotify because people were like clowning me for it because it wasn't. You know how covers are supposed to be like you make it your own. I did it like verbatim, the exact.
Me too. I was like singing along to her track like in the studio, and they just take her voice out.
I did like every vocal inflection she does. I just like you can't like mess with that song. So I was like, I'm gonna do it.
No, don't make it your own.
Yeah.
When you were singing on Grindr, I was just like so good. Your Britney impression is like my favorite. Oh, I just love it so much.
Thank you. Yeah, I do. I hate doing them on the spot. I feel like I get like nervous on the spot.
I wanted you to sing, but I won't. But I always ask people, will you sing it?
I'm like, nah, I can't. I feel like I'll like do it bad, and then I'll be like, wait, no.
Like the begin, right? I know. Well, when I have singers on, I always feel bad because I'm like, I know you have to like practice and rehearse.
Yeah.
But the beginning of it, where it's like, notice me.
Oh yeah.
Take my hand. I'll do it all day long. I'm like, every time I try
I love
to
it.
fly, I fall without. I just think she's so pretty, that song.
It's such a beautiful song. You know the movie Spring Breakers too?
I have not seen that. I've seen it everywhere. I know.
You would love it.
Because I love Vanessa Hudgens. I love Selena Gomez. And I'm like, wait, I've never seen this.
It's really iconic. It's like Harmony Korine, who's like pretty like badass like indie boy director, but I mean obviously he's like older now, but he did like Kids. Do you remember that movie Kids with like Chloe Sevigny?
Oh.
It was like that really like dark like movie about like kids in New York like doing drugs and stuff.
Yes, there was a girl actress. She's like a Filipina actress. Her name's Tiffany something. She's friends with Quentin Tarantino. She was in it too.
Oh, cool. Yeah.
I forgot her name. Yeah. I remember that movie. That's really niche.
he did Spring Breakers, and it's so like his wife Rachel Korine she's the girl with the pink hair in the movie.
Okay.
Who like idol. Like I want to dye my hair pink because of her. Like I love it. But
you were pink.
I was. I know. I want to go back. I want to like commit and do like pink.
It's a lot of stuff on your hair. A lot of damage. I love pink too, but
at this point I'll be bald, so I'm like, I need to choose
your hair looks
wisely.
good now, but I like to think, yeah.
But it's like there's a scene and it's like James Franco's playing this like big white grand piano and it's shot in St. Petersburg, Florida, and they all have like AK-47s and Every Time by Britney. They're like, play us something sweet, and he plays Every Time by Britney and they dance with AKs in front of the sunset.
Oh my
iconic
gosh,
scene,
that's
iconic
everything.
scene. Yeah,
I never heard of that director before.
Yeah, he's pretty cool. He also did Beach Bum with Matthew McConaughey. He's like, I feel like he did like Brown Bunny. I'm pretty sure that's like this movie, like Chloe Sevigny. It's like he does really like art housey, but like it's like, I don't know. His style is very like, it's like punk. It's like he does like crazy.
I haven't seen any. I've seen Kids like a long time ago, but I haven't seen the other stuff.
Yeah,
I have to check it
like
out.
he has a movie where there's a scene where I think Chloe Sevigny like sucks someone, but it's like real. It wasn't like fake for the movie. Like she actually does it in the movie. Yeah.
Oh my god, so it's like softcore a little bit. Well, I guess it's kind of hardcore.
Yeah, but I don't know, his film style is just so, it's like raw and real and like dark. Like Kids was like so, or he did Gummo too. Yeah, he directed Gummo.
I haven't seen that either. Oh my god, I feel
Gummo's
like I don't know anything compared to you. I used to think I know all these movies.
I'll send you a list of some of these because they're crazy. Gummo's really wild. Have you ever seen those pictures like on Tumblr? It's like the boy with like the bunny hat. Or like the boy with the bunny hat, like kissing Chloe Sevigny in the pool.
No, I don't think I've seen that one.
It's from Gummo. It's a weird movie.
I missed the Tumblr era. Were you a Tumblr girl?
Loved Tumblr.
Really?
I'm back on it right now. I just got a Tumblr the other day.
It's still on?
Yeah.
What are people posting now?
You'd be surprised. Like I feel like there's like a whole subculture there. Like everyone has one right now, but no one's really like talking about it. But
is it still like the old Tumblr where they're just posting like cool aesthetic pictures?
Yeah.
Like Visco Girl era.
There's a lot of like people who like post cool shit, and I've kind of like gotten back on it. It feels like a free space. Like it's not like Twitter, Instagram. I can be like, had the worst day. Like I want to die. And like it just goes into
it's like art.
Yeah. It goes on to Tumblr. Like no one says anything.
Is that your favorite social media?
Right now, yeah.
Because I know you're not like too big into like TikTok and stuff. You're kind of like anti-TikTok a little bit.
Not even anti. I don't like hearing my speaking voice so much. I can't imagine like I never like can like sit down and like film myself like talking. There's like something about that. I get really like shy.
What?
Shy about it.
Because you do a lot of podcasts and you're so good at them.
Yeah,
like I was watching.
I feel like it's not. I don't have to like. We're having a conversation almost. I'm not even like
talking to camera.
Yeah, like when people tell silly little stories where they're like, guys, like today I went to this. Like I can't like do that.
Really?
Like, yeah.
Oh, I feel like your stories would be so good and so iconic too.
I know. Maybe I should start though. Maybe today I'll go home and do one.
Yeah, do like a little story time. I mean, there is something cool too about like the mystery around you. You know what I mean? Even through your interviews, it's like people don't know too much about like you as a person, your day to day, your love life, you know?
For sure. I like to keep a little mystique.
Yeah, that's what I was trying to think. I was like, mystique, yeah, because you don't, like your love life, like your last boyfriend, you like don't post about.
Yeah, no.
You just keep all that private.
Keep it all private.
Do you think you always will? You think you'll ever be?
Maybe. If I like got married, I'd like post it.
Would you? Yeah. Okay, so then you'd be like, okay.
But I don't know if I would post someone like beforehand. Or I don't know if I was seriously dating someone, I would probably post it. But I don't know. It gets weird. Like people sometimes will like come into your life like for that like wanting to be posted, and that's like a weird dynamic where I'm like,
yeah,
you know,
the clout of it.
Yeah.
Do you date mostly guys your age or older?
Mostly my age.
Okay.
I feel like I need to go older. I feel like I'm over the like the 27, 26 somethings. Like it's Yeah,
20-year-old. I never dated 20-year-olds, but it seems like a wild pool to date in of like young. But you're just like you said you're an old soul, so I just would assume, especially with the daddy issues of it all. I was like, I always dated people like 40s, 50s, 60s when I was like 18. You know what I mean? I never dated anyone 20s or 30s.
Wow. But maybe I need to switch it up.
No. I think not. I think sometimes those are like, oh, yeah, it's the ick of it all. But interesting. Do you find yourself dating normal people, or do you find yourself more attracted to like artsy type, like entertainment people?
Usually like art, like people that are in music a little bit. Like I like someone that can like speak my language about like music and movies a little bit. I think it's, I don't know if I could like get down with like a finance bro or something like that. Yeah,
car salesman, accountant.
Yeah, like that. I feel like our brain, but maybe because I'm so different from that type, that would like be better, but
balances you out.
Yeah, I'm attracted to people that are like, you know, tatted up, like artsy, like, you know, like into the stuff that I like.
Interesting. Okay, so that's your type. So you like the tattoo. Do you have tattoos?
I do.
Oh yeah. Oh my gosh. Wait. Oh my god. So many. I didn't know this. What's the knuckles?
It says Paradise. It's from my album Trouble Paradise. Yeah. All my tattoos are very like religious in theme. Like I have a rosary and I have the word star here.
You like it's religious rosary and star.
Yeah.
So are you practicing Catholic?
I not like practicing Catholic. I feel like I have a kind of spirituality that's like different from what I grew up with. But I feel like everyone, like I've been like super like atheist and like I don't believe in anything. And then I've kind of like as an adult, like I flip-flopped back into being like, it's okay to like believe in something or like believing in like a higher power. Like I love like religious iconography. Like I love like images of like Jesus and like Mary and like crucifixes. And I feel like I grew up like with all of that around me. So I kind of just like have a weird spirituality that's not so, I wouldn't say it's tied to a certain like religion, but I'm definitely like a spiritual person.
So you're not doing like, you're not praying the rosary, the Apostles' Creed?
No, I'm not praying the rosary. Sometimes I'll pray, but I feel like it's almost just like a practice of like what I grew up doing. Like I'm not opposed to like going to like a Sunday mass. Like sometimes that's nice, you know?
I know. I was just telling him, like, I want to go. We grew up going to like mass and stuff, and I was like, I should go again. It was always confusing Catholic church because there were so many saints and so many people to pray for. Like my dad gave me St. Christopher for my car, and then it's like you have to say the prayer to St. Christopher, and then someone who had cancer would be St. Jude. I'm like, there's so many people to pray to.
Yeah, it's hard to keep up.
But in a way, it's like extra prayers. I'm like, well, you know, it doesn't hurt, you know?
Yeah. It's weird. I feel like growing up in Catholic school was such a trip because I was like, when I think about what they were like teaching us as children, I'm like, they should not have been saying, like, they'd be like, if you guys masturbate, he can see and you're going to go to hell. And we'd be like, what? Like, look, as an adult, I'm like, whoa.
But don't you think that's kind of true? I always feel like, not that you go to hell, but they can see.
They can see.
I was thinking about when people pass away too. I'm always like, I hope like my people don't see me, like my family or something. Because I wonder, you know, they like look down. It's just how you perceive heaven. But I'm like, if they're always watching you, do they watch you have sex?
Right? I don't know. Maybe
like,
not. Are they watching everything or do they just peek in for like the things that like matter? Like, I don't know.
Maybe just the things that matter. Because if you're a soul, you don't have eyes. You know what I mean? I feel like it's just like floating.
If you're a soul, you don't have eyes.
Yeah. So they're just, you know, their essence is with you. That's why people see it. It is such a trip. Yeah. I never went to Catholic school, but like my dad's a hardcore Catholic to this day. He really loves Catholicism. And yeah, some of the rules are whatever, but some of them are kind of funny. And some of them are good. You know, there's, Lent's happening right now. Did you give anything up for it?
No, I should have. My mom's always like, you need to give up. Like, don't eat meat today. And I'm like, girl.
Oh, Fridays. Yeah.
I'm like, we're past that. Like, come on.
I have to eat meat.
Yeah. Like, I don't know. Sometimes it's funny just for like disciplinary reasons to like exercise those things. And like, I should have given something up, but.
Or fasting. I know they do fasting on days. Get the ashes.
I think it made me, like, as a kid, I didn't retain so much of like the religious stuff as much, but I felt like even when I got to public school, I noticed there was a difference of like, I was like disciplined different. Like I felt like I was more respectful of like adults, and like there were kids in my public school that were just like so rude to the teacher, and I'd be like, what? Like you can't talk to them that way.
Oh,
and, like,
really?
I really think growing up Catholic gave me kind of like I don't know, like I kind of appreciate how I was like disciplined or whatever. Like I feel like I have like respect or just like for people in general in a different way. Like I wasn't like a crazy kid. Like they would like make sure like you could not be like acting a fool in Catholic school. Yeah.
Were they like slapping your knuckles with like rulers and stuff? That's what I always hear.
No. There was one nun art teacher. Her name was Sister Barbara, and she like hated my ass. And they would never like, they couldn't like hurt us, but they would definitely, you get like talked to like sternly.
Okay, so there was never, you always just hear they always like with their rosaries like hit people and stuff, but I don't know.
That's like, I feel like that's like some 1960s shit.
Yeah, maybe.
I don't know if they still do that. They probably do in like there's probably certain religions that are like really serious about it.
Yeah, like if you act up or anything. Like what would they yell at you for? What would you get in trouble for?
Like if you like had something that wasn't in uniform, like I would always try to like sneak like a pink like headband in the situation, and they'd be like, that is out of uniform, take it off. And I would take it off and then put it back on after lunch.
And then they yell at you again.
And I get yelled at again. And yeah, it's so funny that that's like rebellious. Or like my iPod, there was only certain days of school we could bring music to school to listen to music. And I didn't care. I would bring my iPod, I would put my headphone in, I would listen. I would like be through my shirt. And I'd be listening to music in my desk, and I would always get caught. I was also like, I would cheat on tests. I was bad.
Wait, so you were. So yeah,
I was a bad kid. But at the same time, when I get in trouble, I wouldn't like try to like boss up on a teacher.
Right. You're like,
that was like the public school difference. Public school kids would try to like fight the teachers, and I'd be like, that was not my vibe. Like I would be
what
like,
would you do? Just immediately take them out?
I'd be like, I'm sorry, and then I'd do it again. I'd be like, I did it again. I'm sorry.
So you broke the rules, but then you were like polite about it when you were caught. You're like, okay.
That's kind of like the bane of my existence. Like I'll break the rules and then I'll be really nice about it.
I love
that. So you feel bad for being mad at me.
Yeah, they're like, Okay, like thanks for not like that's great. Yeah, so public school was like so easy for you if the pink headband was your wildest rebellion.
Yeah, I dyed my hair purple. I was like, oh girl, we can go all out.
Oh my god, so you like public school better than Catholic school?
Definitely, definitely. It like put a little hair on my chest.
Yeah, so you're just like, okay, meeting all these new people, and then you did go to college.
Yeah, I went 1 year to University of Missouri, Mizzou.
Oh wow,
yeah.
Is it hard to get in college?
No, they want your tuition money. I am not even kidding. I graduated high school, and I have no shame about this. I hated school. I was such a bad student. I had ADD severe. Graduated with like a 1.5 GPA. I think that's the lowest you can actually walk across the stage and get a diploma for. Like I was like, they were like, she is dumb as rocks. We don't know, but I wasn't.
What?
I just didn't.
You're so smart.
I didn't care about like I hated homework. I wouldn't do my homework. Yeah, I just wouldn't study, and I just didn't care. Like the things that I loved, I would learn everything there was to know about it. And there was just no classes about like I did a really good job in like English and like my films class. Those were the only in art, and that was it.
Yeah, it's very science,
like math and chemistry. Oh my gosh, physics. I was like, it wasn't like I was like, I don't understand. The ball gets from here to there. What are you saying? I was like, what are you saying? The ball.
That and math and I never took one math class in high school.
Really?
I don't know if it was the school I went to. I was like in a little farm town too, but there was not one math class. I just took a bunch of gym classes, and that's it.
Oh, nice.
And I was like,
I was the girl that like walked the mile too.
Oh, for sure that. Anytime someone's like, pay to start running, I'm like, absolutely not. There's no way. Can you run now?
Not really.
Like if you had to do a music video, like a run or like a movie, like a horror movie.
I could run. I mean, like I feel like I do Pilates like here and there. Like I work out as an adult, but I was like not in high school. I was just not. I was never athletic. My whole life, I was never
like
an athlete.
Were you coordinated? Like could you catch a ball if you were playing dodgeball or something?
No, I could dance though. I was like a dancer.
Okay.
I was like really into dance. I did like this is so embarrassing. I did like hip hop dance. That was like my big thing.
Wait, why is that embarrassing? That's so cool.
I don't know because like I just for like I don't know like thinking about like an 11-year-old like white girl doing hip hop dance is like.
Were you good? I feel like you're good. It's
honestly,
good.
I was. Yeah, I feel like I was pretty good, but.
You're a rapper. You rap and you do hip hop. That makes sense. Actually, you have so much in you.
So that was my favorite thing. Like I love dancing, but I could not like kick a ball.
Well, dancing's cooler anyways. Like kicking a ball, what's it gonna do? You know what I mean? On stage, you're not gonna kick a ball. You're gonna dance.
Yeah.
And your dancing is so good. So like on stage, like your stage show now, do you choreograph it yourself?
Yeah, it's not. I kind of just perform. I feel like I haven't done any like choreo like things in a really long time, but I feel like for my next album I definitely want to tap back in. I love some choreographed dance.
Yeah, like a Lady Gaga, like where she has the big break moments and stuff.
The Britney Spears Slave for You, like it's fierce.
That one is everything. Your Give Me More remix is
Thank
so
you.
good. I was like, why didn't you do a visual for that? That would have been so good.
I wish we could have cleared that. It's like it's really tricky. I just tried again. It was like going viral on TikTok again. And we tried to get it cleared a second time. And it's like, all it takes is like one writer. It doesn't even matter how much it costs sometimes. It's like one writer to like not agree.
And there's a lot of writers.
The master. Yeah, there's like a lot of, and it's like an older song too. So it's hard to get in touch with people.
And it's so iconic because you have like, it's Britney Slayyyter, bitch. Like it's just so cool.
Yeah. Thank you.
I was like, oh, this is a cool remix. And just like the whole changing of the lyrics was like so good. I was like,
thank you.
That would be the collab. I feel like Britney does do like, like random collabs, not like the random, like Tanashi, like, I didn't know of her before. And then when she did with her, I was like, oh, so I feel like You by Britney.
I would love to. If she ever came back to music, I would never want to like prod too much because I know she has like a weird relationship with it all now. She keeps saying like she would never go back, but then sometimes she'll be like, I am, like, I don't know, but I would die.
She did Elton John. She did Tiny Dancer.
That is true.
You know what I mean?
True.
She might do like a little remix. I see her all the time because she lives in this area and I always see her and I always, and I never wanted, I'm very much like you where it's like, she's my Paul McCartney where I'm like, I just feel like maybe I should say hi, but then I'm like, no, absolutely. Like I feel like she would be like, no, stop leaving, because Britney's like, it's like such a level, and it wasn't like an event like you went to. It's just like literally her down the street, and I was like, I don't know, I always want to see her. You never
know. I hear that she's so sweet. Like I hear that she's like so like I feel like she wouldn't be like weird about being approached, especially if it's like, like you live in the same neighborhood. You could just be like, hey neighbor,
right?
You know?
I don't know.
Like, can I borrow 2 eggs and a cup of sugar?
That would be, oh my God, that'd be everything. When I see her, I just always want to tell her how good she looks. She's so petite and tiny and looks so amazing. And I just always want to like tell her, but I'm like, well, she's probably
well, that's
busy.
nice.
Yeah.
That's nice of you. I feel like,
but it's like a moment where you're like, I want to be friends with her so bad because she's like my ultimate queen. Like that's the person I wanted to be growing up. So
same.
That collab would be great. Who else would you want to collab with? Like a dream collab?
Dream collab. I feel like it's always like producers. Like I would love to work with like Skrillex.
Oh my God, that name sounds like, isn't that like a throwback, or is he still around?
Oh, he's like, no, he kills
he's still
it.
killing
His
it?
albums are he's like one of the best electronic producers I think ever. He's like so great.
I feel like that's such a throwback. I feel like back in the day, like epic rap battles would always like do Skrillex, and I was like, oh, okay, that's...
No, he put out a song, he put out an album like, I think last year or maybe 2 years ago, but it's like really sick. There's a song with Missy Elliott, and it samples like Mr. Wazo, and it's really sick.
Oh, so is that what he does, like sampling? I don't know much about like producers.
He like samples, he remixes, he produces stuff also like from scratch, but he did the whole like Justin Bieber Purpose album.
Oh, okay.
And I'm always on like a weird, like I could be on like a TED Talk tip about it. I'm like, that is one of the best modern pop albums of all time.
Really?
Purpose. It's the production is so like forward, like thick. It's so cool. It's such a good album.
You know all the technical stuff, so I feel like that's when you can like listen to it. I wouldn't know. Is it like Justin Bieber's album, or is it like their collab?
It's Justin Bieber's album, but Skrillex basically did the whole, like did most of it, I think.
Okay.
Yeah.
And the producing is like what? I'm so bad at this.
It's like making the beat.
Got it. So you'll like do the lyrics, and then you need a producer to make the beat.
Yeah.
Okay, got it.
I get really hands-on. I don't like produce necessarily, but I get really hands-on with like the production of my music. Like I know what I want to go where, and like when things need to be added or like sounds, and like I get really like anal about it all.
Okay, so you like can get into the technical. You know what sounds good. You're like, no, change that.
Yeah.
Would you ever like DM Skrillex and be like, hey, let's work together?
I feel like I've tried.
Oh, have you?
Yeah.
Have you been left on red?
Yeah, not left on red, but just like, like they don't accept it. Yeah.
That's better. Oh, right. Now they have to accept it. Because I'd be DMing like random people from I like the weekend, like, you want to come on my podcast? Like, no one sees it. Well, actually, you can see it, but some people don't see it. So
it's hard. It's hard to like get through that first wall, but once you do, people are like cool. But or like I would love, who else? Like I feel like Kavinsky I would love to collab with. He's like a great producer. I've always loved his music. Or
what's he done? What's he worked on?
You know that song? Have you ever seen Drive with Ryan Gosling? I feel like this is that song where it's like, there's something about you. It's hard to explain.
Yeah.
That song. I'm giving you a night call, tell you. That song.
Oh my God, we got it singing. Yay. That felt like a little concert.
That my impersonation of like the thing, I'm like, giving you, that's me singing.
That was good. The duet of it. You were duetting yourself. That was nice. I like that.
But yeah, I think
that's
that would
a good
be cool.
one.
Or Nelly. Okay, so Nelly.
Oh.
Nelly.
That's a throwback though. Okay,
that is a throwback.
Okay.
That's my big one. He's from St. Louis, so that's where I'm from. And everyone, like, if you put on like Ride With Me in a bar in St. Louis, everyone drops what they're doing, puts their beer down, and sings. Like,
that's a good one. That's a classic.
He's a hometown hero, like Hot in Here, Country Grammar. Like I would love a Nelly feature.
That's so funny. He's from St. Louis. I totally forget that.
Yeah.
Because didn't he have isn't there like an abandoned mansion in St. Louis that he had?
Yes, it's in Eureka.
Oh my, have you seen it?
I have never seen it in person, but I know where it is. Eureka. So like St. Louis proper is like the city, and then like as you get out, it's like a little like suburbs, and then as you keep going out, it's more rural. He bought like a mansion in Eureka, and I guess just like abandoned it or whatever. Yeah, there's nothing going on in Eureka, so I'm like shocked anyone would live there.
Why would he do that? I wonder.
I don't know.
He's from St. Louis.
He's from St. Louis, but people like, especially like, when you get like money and you get success, like you can build like fat ass like mansions out in Eureka. Like when I was in high school, there would always be like house parties out in Eureka. You'd like drive like 40 minutes because like that's where all the big houses are, because it's like it's cheap to build. It's like, it's crazy. So I think that's just where he built his house. Yeah.
So weird. Why abandon it? Because he has money.
I know. I don't know.
It's so weird. And those
Maybe it was haunted. I don't know.
He just like left. He's like, I'm out.
Yeah.
Oh, I want to go. I want to go to Eureka now and look at that. Nelly was cool. Like I was never a big like music. Like I didn't know anyone but Britney Spears, but Nelly was always cool.
Yeah.
Or what's the one he did with Kelly Rowland?
Oh yeah. I need you, Nelly.
I love you. I do. It's so good.
Yeah.
I met this chick and wait, that's
because she tries to text him using like Excel.
Oh yes, and everyone's like, wait, did no one notice that? That's so fun. No, that one was so good. I loved her hair. I loved everything about it. He was so cool.
Yeah.
I wonder if he'll make music again.
He always wore like the Band-Aid on his face.
Why did he do that?
I don't know. It looked sick though.
Oh my God. That is actually really cool. Nelly was cool. I think for even people who didn't know hip hop, he was like that gateway.
Yeah.
He did Tim McGraw, a duet with him.
Yeah, he's like country now.
I kind of love that. I guess he was always country, right? Like little St. Louis. Like,
Country Grammar.
Yeah. I love that.
It's a hybrid of the city country, Yeah. Like I feel like Chicago is even more like, that's like city. Like St. Louis is like a little hybrid of both.
Where it gives
people get down with country music, but people are also, it's like a city, like it's not, I don't know.
I love St. Louis. I've only been to like Comic-Cons there, and I always thought it was
really?
So cool. Yeah, like the arches are cool. Like the whole city is like a vibe, I feel. Like I'm from Illinois, not Chicago, like suburbs, but like Chicago always to me felt a little bit, I don't know, I was always a little more scared. St. Louis feels like a vibe.
Yeah. Oh my God, I love that. I feel like everyone like, it's like a flyover town for most people. So I'm like, that's nice.
Yeah, you don't know anyone from St. Louis. Well, we like drove through to get to California too. So what is it, like Route 66 or something from like Chicago to here?
Oh, yeah.
And it's a good drive.
Yeah. Where are you from in Illinois?
I'm from a place called Rockford, Illinois.
I feel like I know people from there.
Yeah, it's like 2 hours. I don't know what direction. I guess west of Chicago.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, so it's, and I'm from an even smaller town, like it's called Pecatonica, so it's even smaller, but Rockford's like the main big town next to it. And then it took us like an hour and a half to get to Chicago, but.
Damn.
Yeah.
My cousins are all from like Aurora area, I think. Or no, what is it? Algonquin.
That might be more central Illinois, I think.
Yeah.
When I think of Aurora, I think of Wayne's World.
Oh, yeah.
That's where they shot it, supposedly. They're
my
like,
God.
live from Aurora, Illinois. And I was like, okay.
That's an SNL classic. That's good.
Yeah. And yeah, all those, when you said those skits, I'm like, God, I remember like Church Lady, like all those were like
the
so
Dana Carvey,
good.
so good. Yeah.
I feel like they all have podcasts now, and I always like, I try to DM them all the time. I'm always like, do you want to come on? Like those kind of comedians are like, David Spade does a lot of podcasts.
Does he really?
Yeah, he's kind of in the scene now. He dates a lot of young girls in LA.
Oh my God. But like, where is he?
Yeah. Would you want to date with him?
Oh my God, sure. I would date David Spade. Funny,
he's gonna DM you.
Funny goes like the longest way, right?
Oh,
I feel
for
like
sure.
funny is so, I don't know. Like a guy who's funny. Like I always like got when everyone's like, oh, like the Pete Davidson thing. I'm like, I get it. Like he's funny, right?
I don't get the.
You don't get the. His tattoos are a little insane, but like I'm like, you're like funny, so like of course you would have insane tattoos.
He must have a lot of things going for him because he gets all the hot girls.
Yeah.
But he's kind of like the modern day dude because David Spade used to get hot girls. You know what I mean? He used to get all those like. I think the person he had a baby was like a playmate. You know what I mean?
Wow.
And I think he dated Laura Flynn Boyle. He used to date like really hot people, so he might have something to it. I don't know. Allegedly, he takes people out at like 4:00 for dinners or something like that. I don't know.
4:00 in the afternoon.
Yeah, like that's when they have dinner.
Oh my God.
I've heard it from multiple people. I DM'd him.
So funny.
He was never interested in dating me, but I feel like the young hot ones like you, he'll probably be like, hey,
stop.
I know there's nothing wrong with it. How old are you? You're 96, so
I'm 27, so I'm not even that young.
Okay.
I might have missed the cutoff.
Isn't it
Genuinely.
crazy? No.
Every year I get older in this town, I'm like, damn, like
missing that cutoff. The Bachelor, I really do feel like there's a cutoff at like 31. I was like, wow, I'd be too old to be on The Bachelor, which I feel so young. And I was like, wow, I wouldn't be able to be on that show.
I would be so bad on a show like that.
You never would do dating show like Love Is Blind.
If it was me as the main, I would just be I'm like so like weird about like men, and I'm so picky, and I just feel like I just would be like a terrorist on it. Like I would just be like horrible. I'd be mean. Like I'd be like, you're weird.
Would you?
I don't know. It's just like there's something about like men, like when I watch The Bachelor, like men that like think they're like he thinks he's all cool. It's like I'd be like, no, like I don't like you. Like girls, like we're going. Like,
right. You're like, why are we all fighting over this guy?
Yeah, like I'd be like, what's so great about him?
You need your own show like Daisy of Love. Do you remember that show?
Yes.
And then you get all your tattoo people, you give them backstage passes. Yeah. Like that's the vibe.
It would be very Daisy of Love. It would be so like Rock of Love, all those VH1. Like
I love those.
Yeah.
I was a little too young to be on those because it was like 21 and I think I was like 19 at the time and I wanted to be on them so bad.
Oh, damn. You would have killed Rock of Love.
Oh, Rock of Love was my jam. I got to do Brett Michaels on my podcast like a while ago during quarantine, and I was just like obsessed with like, don't ask him too many Rock of Love questions. I'm like, that's all I care about. That's all you want to know. Because he was so cool. He's still so high. I think he used to live literally in this neighborhood, but he moved away.
No way.
Yeah, and I was like, oh, that's so cool. I want to see Brett Michaels. But
oh my gosh, you just start just like going knocking on doors, being like, want to be on my podcast, seeing who you find.
I probably would. Yeah. I would totally do that. I just ask everybody now. I'm like you. I DM'd you, and I was like, and when you're like, yes, I was like, what?
Yeah.
And it happens. That's why you should just try everything. Because like 1 out of like 50 people will say yes, and it's very cool. But truly, it's like an honor that you're here because like I'm not like I think I sent you screenshots even of like all the people.
Oh my God.
I'm like, just so you know, I'm not just saying this. And
it's an honor to be here. I have literally watched you since I was like too young to be using YouTube.
Wait, really?
Yes, like Blund Sondal for MJ.
Crazy.
Like yes, like I know like I know your whole lore. I've just been obsessed with you.
Oh my God, that's like crazy
I would watch you do
me.
like MAC makeup collection like on the webcam like that.
Oh my God!
I'm telling you, I was like an OG like YouTube stan. Like I loved I loved like Smosh or like what was there? I'm trying to think of all like the really old
Smosh. Wow, that's crazy. Mm-hmm. Who else? I'm trying to think too. Like back in the day,
I was like a kid, so I loved like Fred.
Did you?
Yeah, like I loved like.
That's everything.
Yeah.
Lucas Cruikshank still makes videos. He's still out there.
Yeah.
I love him. He came to one of my, when I did a tour, a very small tour, six cities, he came like in disguise and filmed it for his video. And I was just like, okay, I kind of love, because he was so huge. Fred was so big. So you like the big ones. You like Smosh. Do you remember Totally Sketch?
No.
He did a lot with like Shane and... trying to think because like I wasn't too big into YouTubers in that era. Like I didn't know who the original ones were, but must have been so young.
I was. I liked a lot of random ones. Like there was like these dudes balloon shop, and I always thought they were really funny.
What do
it was
they
just
do?
like random like sketch comedians, and watching it as an adult, I'm like, this is not funny at all.
I love that you love sketch comedy. So you were watching those.
I was watching all sketch comedy. I always wanted like my original dream. I thought my big like ticket to like claim to fame would be like something with like Saturday Night Live. Like I wanted to like write or like be like something in comedy. Like my dad always was like, like wanted me to get into comedy because that was like his dream that didn't like work out. So I was like, I thought that would have like been my thing, but I loved singing more than I loved
comedy.
Yeah.
You could do both though.
Yeah. I don't know.
Oh my God. What could you do?
I
wonder.
feel like I get booed.
No, I feel like you'd be, have you ever tried it like live, like improv, nothing?
No, I've never tried.
That's so interesting. I wouldn't think, not that you're not funny, but I wouldn't even think of you as like someone who wants to do like stand-up comedy or sketch comedy.
Yeah. I don't even think I'm like funny in that way. I think that like when you nerd out over comedians, like everyone like I loved comedy in general. So I feel like that was like, when I was young, I just wanted to like be on SNL.
Wow.
More than to be like Kristen Wiig. Like I wanted to like,
be that girl.
Yeah.
Who is your favorite? Like what kind of comedians do you like stan?
Like I love all the, like I said before, like Norm Macdonald I always thought was so funny. He is like the funniest, like honestly.
That's your number one.
I feel like he might be one of my number ones. Videos of him on like Conan or just like different interview shows. He was just such like an ass in the best way.
Him on Conan. Or did you ever see him on the I think it was Bob Saget roast?
Oh, yeah.
Where he just did this, like, weird bit about birds. He's like, the birds. And everyone's like, what?
He would do, like, he was just so funny, like, effortlessly. And
he was in the Andy Kaufman movie, too, I think. Man on the Moon.
Really?
He was, like, one of the people in the sketches. Yeah, he's so good. I loved him. Like, God, when he passed away, it was, like, really sad and unexpected. It was recent,
I was so sad, and I feel like no one knew, like, no one my age, at least, like, cared or knew. And I was like, this is, like, so devastating. And all of his comedian friends being so upset about it was like so sad.
Oh yeah, they all were friends with him, like Adam Sandler, all those people. He was. Did you ever get to see him at all perform when he was?
No, I wouldn't really go. I was too young to like go to comedy shows. I did. My mom took me to see Amy Schumer once before everyone like turned on her in culture. Yeah. But she actually was really funny.
Really, you liked her?
She had I think it was Bridget Everett, this comedian, went after Amy Schumer set, and she would do this like cabaret like nude thing. She like put her pussies in people's faces in the audience.
What?
And it was so funny.
Wait, real? Like actual?
Yeah, Bridget Everett. I'm trying to think of some things Bridget Everett's been in. Have you ever seen like the Sex and the City movie?
The second one. I didn't see the first one.
Oh, she's in it. She's like, you're great. You're like, she's like all drunk in the movie, but like she has a really small part, but she's so funny.
And she does stand up.
Yeah.
And would she show her naked puss to everyone?
I don't know. I don't remember. I was young, but I just remember being like gagged. I was like, whoa, like I've never seen someone do that.
That's wild. So she was like just like raunchy comedian.
Yeah, she was great though. Like I think she's a really funny comedian.
I feel like female comedians have it so hard. Like it's just so hard. Like so many people are already root against a female comedian.
Yeah.
So
Well, it's that whole trope where it's like women aren't funny.
Right. Yeah. And it's like, yeah, who started that even? Like, who's like, women aren't funny? It is hard because male comedians, I don't know. I guess I'm like a little biased. I was like, male comedians are so funny. But I was always a stand too. I had a groupie phase for a minute where I would go to like stand-up shows and just hang out and see stand-up comedians that no one knew.
Living in LA too, it's like you had access to like the Laugh Factory and all those things.
Have you gone?
What is it, the Comedy Store?
Yeah, Comedy Store.
Yeah.
There's a Flappers in Burbank, so you would see like the most random like Harlan Williams and stuff. Just like random people there. But I feel like, do you go to any of those shows?
Not really. I feel like as an adult, I don't really go to like comedy shows ever. But I like watching stand-up like from time to time.
Do you ever watch like I guess like all I think of now is like Matt Rife, and I'm like, no one likes him.
No.
So
I love like John Mulaney.
Oh, okay.
John Mulaney's really funny.
He had a cancellation, didn't he?
He did. He kind of just had like, I think he like relapsed or something, and there was like a lot of he like divorced his wife. I don't want to like get into his tea on here.
No, that's what I thought.
But he did, yeah. He kind of got canceled because he like left his wife of many years and then started dating this actress lady. I don't know like all the lore, but people were like,
and he had like a baby with her and stuff like that. Yeah.
But he's very funny still though.
Yeah. I know sometimes you don't know about this stuff, and then he's like, I don't know anything else. I just know everyone kind of turned against him too. Like we all love him, and it's like Amy Schumer. But that's why you can't get like political too, because it's like I liked Amy Schumer's movies, like Trainwreck and stuff. I thought was cute.
Trainwreck was so good.
Yeah, I was like,
it was funny. It was cute.
Yeah, and I love seeing someone with like my body type on screen. It's like good.
I Feel Pretty. I thought was also really good.
I feel pretty.
I loved it.
That's
like,
how I feel every day. I'm always like, I feel like I look like you. You know, so I'm always like, yeah, that's me.
It's like, first of all, you're beautiful. Stop. Like, you're stunning.
Your body is insane. It's like crazy.
Oh my God, no. See, I think at the end of the day, we all like hate ourselves a little bit because I'm always like, I feel so like insecure about stuff.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, the look today was supposed to be your tough love pink jacket. That's what I was trying to recreate. And then you had a pink bikini, and I ordered it. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to own my body, pregnant, whatever. I'm going to wear a bikini. I put it on. I was like, absolutely not. Get me. I almost had like a mental breakdown before you came. I was like, nope, I can't do it. I was like, when I looked at your pictures, I was like, absolutely not.
Oh my God. Well, I kept the jacket closed for a reason. I was like, kept it here.
No, you look so good. You look like all your, what's the music video where you're walking down naked? Erotic.
Oh yeah, Erotic Electronic.
Yes. Oh my gosh. I was like, your body. I saw the behind the scenes of it. I was like, that's so amazing. Like,
see, that's funny that you say that because I felt so not toned in the video, but I think that is what made it. Like, I feel like my body type is not like the typical, like, I don't have hips. Like, I'm very like straight and down. Even people in the comments, they were like, she has no hips. And I'd be like, yeah.
It's very Britney of you.
Neither does my mom. Neither does my sister. Yeah. It's so funny.
It's such a good body. I love that body shape because everyone can buy hips now, and I love hips, of course, but I love that straight. It's like very Britney. It's very that.
But yeah, I think, that was like, I definitely, I've never felt like I'm like the super skinny girl. So like doing that video, I've like lost weight in my life. Like I feel like I have been like every different kind of size, but just like doing that video, I was like, whoa, like we're really putting it all out here. Like,
were you dieting or anything before that?
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah. You know, here and there. But
was it one of those ones where you're like, oh, I can't wait to have like pizza after this?
Yes.
Okay, yeah.
Very much that. For every music video. Every video is like the thing you like work towards, and then after I'm just like, I want to go to like Buffalo Wild Wings.
And it feels so good afterwards too. It's because I mean, at the end of the day, it does get bloated. People are like, it doesn't make a difference. But I'm like, no, it does.
It does.
Yeah, especially because when you're gonna be naked. That specific one, I think you said you like risked getting arrested for. Did anyone come up to you during filming, like any police or?
No, it was mostly just like bystanders, and it also was really sketchy because like I'm not like a creep. Like I didn't realize people would have their children out in Hollywood at like it was midnight. It was like actually like 11:30 midnight. And it was tourists with their kids. And as soon as we would spot like a family with kids, I would be like, throw me the robe. And I would put the robe on.
So you were actually naked?
Yeah.
You didn't have a bandeau? Or...
I had pasties for tracking the bars onto my boobs. And then like a sticker like right in the crotch of like my butt. I was naked. Like I was actually naked.
Were they green? Were they like a green screen thing?
They were like 2 nude pasties with little black dots in them. So you could like so the bar could be tracked to my, oh my gosh, I just broke a nail. So you could do these Amazon nails. So you could track the bar to like my body.
Okay. But it's out.
It's out.
Wow. Yeah, but also that's not the worst thing on Hollywood Boulevard at midnight. If someone has their people out there, there's like users out there, there's prostitutes, there's like actual people doing crazy out there. So it's not the worst thing.
I've seen people like smearing food into the sidewalk, like screaming. Like that's worse than like a naked lady.
Yeah, no, for sure. I feel like if anything, was there any creeps? Was there anybody that was like inappropriate?
Not really. I mean, she filmed it. There were some, but it was never a point where it was always like. There were some men who were like funny. They weren't even like catcalling or heckling. They were just like, get it, girl. And I was like, okay.
They're into it. They're like, okay, I love that. They were supportive. They were respectful.
Exactly. I was like, that was a very supportive catcall.
Okay, I love that.
That was gorgeous. Yeah.
Okay.
So, but yeah.
And you had are you with the label or are you independent right now?
I was with Fader label under Universal for that whole album cycle. And then my last album fulfilled my contract. So I'm like technically in like a couple months, I'll be like independent technically.
So that one you're under a label and they were totally fine with the concept. They're like, yeah, that's fine.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it cost actually $5 to make that video.
Oh, so like absolutely.
So like, that is fine.
Do that.
Go get naked.
Wow. Mm-hmm. Oh my God. That's amazing. You can do it for so cheap.
Yeah.
What was the $5? What did it go to?
The pasties probably.
Oh, okay. So you film and edit. Do you edit or do you edit?
She edits and films.
Wow.
Like,
just you two? Wow. And it's just you two on Hollywood Boulevard.
Yeah. And my stylist, Malcolm, which is funny because there was like the absence of styling. But he's still like, he did like the shoes and like we like vibed it up, the sunglasses.
Yeah, no, that's like a whole part of it. Yeah. I love it. I think bring nakedness back. I miss the Playboy days. I miss the nudity of it all. And just seeing like someone's body, like you said, even like a body that's different, you know what I mean? Because everyone is, like you said, everyone's very thin now of it all. And I like just to see like, those toned bodies like the Britney days. Because Britney was never like stick thin, you know what I mean?
Not like that impossible supermodel waist. Like, you know, I see it's so weird. Like, I feel like seeing different bodies. That almost was like, everyone in the Y2K culture, it was so like thin obsessed, but at the same time, you just saw more variety of like women in a way.
Oh, yeah.
Like yes and no, like obviously to a certain extent, yes, and to a certain extent, no, but I just don't remember. Like I feel like now it's like so like heroin chic model body. And
everyone has to be so thin. It's like Ariana Grande, Lily Rosette. They look gorgeous, but it is like, I'm like, God, everyone is so skinny. Madison Beer. And it's just like, it's nice to see different. Like you said, in early 2000s, we did see like the Paris Hiltons, but even when Lindsay Lohan became like curvy, oh my God, it was like so hot. All of a sudden she had, I think SNL did those skits with her like
their boobs, yeah.
Harry Potter, and all of a sudden you're just like, oh wow, she looks so good. And I think that's, I don't know, I kind of miss the era. Britney too, she always had like a toned body. Like
she was athletic.
Yeah.
She looked like an athlete. She didn't look like tiny supermodel with no ribs.
That's how I feel with you. I feel like you look like athletic, like you do Pilates, like you dance and stuff like that. So I was just like, it's nice to see. And that's why I was sad Amy Schumer got canceled, because I like to see her body too. I was like, she would be naked, and it's nice to have that out there. I guess we have like Lizzo and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But now everyone tries to ban nudity because you couldn't put that video on TikTok. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They're so strict about it. And I was like, that's so annoying.
YouTube now too. I feel like YouTube is so strict with like cuss words and nudity and.
Oh yeah, we bleep like everything on this. It's like bleep bleep bleep
It's
bleep.
so crazy. I remember when I was a kid though, like it was not like that.
Oh, you could say anything. You could talk about you could call all this, but like blowjob. You could just say all those things, and it's just like now we beep 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 everything.
I know you saying that. I was gonna be, what did she just say? You're like blowjob. Pussy.
Yeah, bleep 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 again. Our editors. I knew this one. I'm like, this one's gonna be editing, especially because your title is a star. Right, is like, but yeah, if you say that anymore, people are like, I think even saying the word vape, I think we have to bleep that out. I don't think you can even say that. It's crazy, the rules. Whoa. Yeah, or if someone does it, we always have to like bleep, we have to like cut them out or something like that. It's I guess in a way it's good, but also like the censorship of it all. It's like
I'm never for censorship. I'm so like
put it all out there.
Anti-censorship. I don't. There's something about censorship that like freaks me out. Like in like political speaking, like I'm like let us cuss. Like
right.
You know,
this is just the beginning. Like what else are they going to start like controlling and stuff like that? When you do a deep dive into it, it's like kind of gets scary. Yeah. You spiral a little bit. Would you ever do now, like because you did that video and you have the uncensored footage, would you put like do an OF or something where you put like uncensored stuff from your shoots?
Maybe. I've been thinking, I think a lot about OnlyFans. I feel like it would really depend on how I would do it, but I've always thought about doing it or doing, like, I feel like it'd be shocking for like a pop artist to like do adult entertainment, but like in like the actual like real way. So sometimes I think about that and I'm like, I feel like I would do that. I would like make art out of it and make it my way, because I think that could be a really cool platform for something like that, but I'm not sure, you know
what it is, and girls and gays would love it too, you know what I mean? It's not even like necessarily for men.
Yeah.
It's kind of like Madonna's like sex book, like I mean that's before my time too, but I remember like that was like such a big thing, and I always think that's like cool, because like the body is like art and it's cool and you can make money off of it.
I think it's and amazing. I feel like doing like art housey like pornography would be like a cool thing. I don't know.
My God, you should do like a film with that guy that you were talking about earlier, like the Spring Breakers. Like you should do like a whole like sex film with that.
Oh, I'd be so. Oh my gosh, I'm like the biggest Harmony Korine stan. I would love to.
Harmony Korine, my God, look him up. Would you act? Have you acted before?
I have not, but I would love to. That is definitely on my bucket list. I feel like it's something I've always wanted to do, and like I don't know. You never know if you're good at something until you try. But I think it's something I would be good at.
Oh yeah.
And I am a theatrical person. I feel like I would love to do like drama or like. I don't know. I love movies, so
it'd be so cool because your Slayyyter persona is so like one way, and even you now, it's like, oh my God, you could do so many different things. Like you have everything, you could be Mira Sorvino, you could be all these people. It's like, and I think it's just like a cool vibe. Even to see you now, I'm like, oh my God, it's like such a different persona than you get. You're like just like a really
I'm a real girl.
Yeah, you're just like so chill and down to earth, which I would never know because you're so glamorous. You do everything so big, and I'm just like, it's intimidating online. And then when I saw you, I was like, oh my God, she's like so real and so cool.
That's the internet for you, right?
Right. It makes it, but you really are like larger than life, on there. So that's why even DMing you, I was like, oh my God, I can't believe it.
What?
Yeah.
But it's you. I'm like, you're like such an icon.
Oh my, I don't feel like it because I never did mainstream stuff. I've always just done stuff online and social media, which anybody can do. But I feel like when you do mainstream stuff like touring and you have these albums and you're at Pride and stuff like that, to me, that's like unattainable.
Oh my gosh.
Which I think you were talking about, you like celebrities because they were unattainable. It wasn't like, nowadays everyone wants to be relatable and stuff, but there is kind of a cool unattainability to it,
Yeah. The mystique of old, like, not even old Hollywood, but even like recent times. Like I feel like who can you say that's like a newer actor that gives you like the vibe of like a George Clooney? You know what I mean?
No one.
People used to have mystique, and they're like, I feel like now, and it's weird because you see like OG like celebrities try to get into the social media space and do the TikTok thing, and everyone's just kind of like,
ugh, no.
Why are you? Yeah. And it's weird. It's awkward because it's like, this isn't, like you can't you don't need to be like making TikToks. Like
exactly. And I think people are kind of getting back to that, like the Austin Butler, Zac Efron. They seem to be like not on social media, and it makes them cooler to me. I was like, okay, we kind of have some of those because when you see them on like TikTok, it takes away. Plus, also the more people talk and stuff, sometimes you're like, oh, they're kind of like cringe.
Well, that's like most actors. It's like as soon as you're like, oh no.
Yeah, like you see The Rock on TikTok and you're like, this just feels inauthentic. You know what I mean? And then people turn on him like they did with the whole Maui situation. And now The Rock is no longer cool or something. Or I think J-Lo is a good example of it too. She used to be so cool, and now everyone, I don't know why, I don't have anything negative against her, but everyone is like turning against her now and becoming a meme. Like, did you see the one with her? Are you on TikTok like that?
Yeah, I use it every day. I love it. I'm addicted to it.
But you don't really make it.
I make like little lip sync videos here and there. That's like my little thing.
We have not seen those.
I just like, it'll be like really quick. It'll just be like me, like to show my like outfit or makeup almost. I'll just be like, la 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 la.
Okay, I love that. Yeah. A good little. Who do you lip sync to lately?
Just any songs I'm like loving on.
That's popular at the moment. I thank God for TikTok because I never kept up with like music, and then now I know there's like that struggle, especially as like an artist of like, do we like TikTok? Do we not? But that's how I really find out all my music. Yeah. But I guess it's like kind of.
It can be a double-edged sword because I feel like on one hand it's changed the music industry so much. I think it has had a couple negative effects in giving people like music platforms and music careers who might not be like an artist, but they had the one song that goes viral. But then at the same time, I think it's nice that the public is deciding on like who is like getting these big songs, and it's not like a label trying to push something like very mechanically in a way. Like the people decide,
right? You know, like, this is popular,
and
now.
That's cool. I think it gives anyone a chance. Like I could have a song go viral tomorrow. I could never have a song go viral in my life, or it's just like it's the more you post, the more the chances go up, I guess.
Yeah, just the virality of it all. Do you write for other people?
I don't, but I would love to.
Like, who is like your ideal person to write for?
I would love, actually, Heidi. I would love to write songs for Heidi. I feel like
she's working on an album now.
I know. I've been all over the place, but I need to send her some pitch songs. But I love her music. I love how like sweet her voice sounds, and I would love to write for her.
So iconic. When she did the Miss Universe, I was like, she was the one that was here that I was like really starstruck. Like I literally, like I was literally just like, I'm so nervous right now because she's also very like beautiful and stunning, and you're just like, and then watching her grow up, you're just like, oh my God, I can't believe you're here. Yeah. She's also very down to earth.
She's so down. She's such a sweetie pie. Her and Spencer both too. I went on their podcast and I
You did?
Yeah, I feel like yeah.
Oh, so you know her. Okay, okay.
I feel like I grew up watching The Hills and all of those shows, and it's so insane how they were painted. They're so smart for this, but they were the villains, but in real life they were actually the nicest people.
So
they just
nice.
like knew what they were doing. And yeah, they have this book called How to Be Famous that like I'm obsessed with. It's this really tongue-in-cheek like little, it's like this quick little book, and they like talk about like scheming the paparazzi and like staging paparazzi setups because that was like what they would do and make their money and get
paid for
genius.
it.
Yeah, it was just genius.
Yeah,
they would be in the park and they'd be like crying and yelling at each other, and then they would sell the photos. And I'm like, that is so iconic.
So iconic.
Yeah.
Her number one cover, she said, was Us Weekly, and it was her like pretending to like file for divorce papers against Heidi or against Spencer, and she was the number one, and we made so much money. I was like, God, you're so smart.
Right?
Like she really is. Like, oh my God, if you guys did music together, if you wrote for her,
I would love to.
Because I don't think she doesn't write her own, right? She doesn't, or she might. Or
I
be
think
in the
she
room.
does. Well, yeah. Like I think a lot of the way she made Superficial, she told me that she like found like the best songwriters, and it was very how big mainstream pop artists at that time would curate their albums, because it's like Britney wasn't really writing. I mean, she wrote some of her music, but like it's like you get like pitch songs and stuff, and like you curate the vibe, and she made it like the same way that like any major label pop star would make it, which I think is so cool.
What did she say? I think she told us she put like $2 million into it or something, and I was like, that's everything. Like
that's a passion project if I ever heard one.
It's a passion project, and I love people like that. I love people who just like, and like you said, you did camming so you could pay for like beats and stuff like that.
Yeah,
it shows so much passion that you would put your money into your stuff.
Yeah, I feel like when you really believe in something and you want to make it, like you should. Like everyone right now is clowning on J-Lo for like her she spent like $20 million on that movie, but it's like, and like as I saw it, was I obsessed? Like no, but like to me the fact that she like needed to like make her idea that bad that would fund it, I'm like, props. Like, like if you want to make this that bad, like that's like commendable in my if you want to go make something.
I would have done that 100%. Like that. I love that too. I love that she just like, yeah, I'm gonna put all my money into this, and like it, like nobody knew what it was. It was so weird, but I was like, if you believe in something, do it.
It's a crazy watch. I want to like take acid and watch it again.
Ooh, that would be so fun.
I'd get really scared.
Oh my gosh.
I would disappear. You guys would never hear from me again. I'd have like a mental break. I'd like run to the desert.
You could have cool like songs and music come from it.
Yeah.
You're just remembering your trip of watching J-Lo.
Watching the J-Lo movie.
That would be great. What was that, on Amazon?
I think so.
That's wild. I wonder if she made any of it back.
I don't know.
Maybe they bought it or something. I don't know.
Maybe they bought it. I feel like it might have been one of those things, yeah, like where Amazon actually like paid, like they did a deal, yeah.
Yeah. Did you see the clip of her trying to ask all these celebrities and they're like,
Yeah.
they said no. But then Lizzo's like, they never asked me, you know, because they said Lizzo said no, and she goes, they didn't ask me, so.
Sometimes your team like will say
Says
no
no.
for you, yeah.
Which is crazy because J-Lo was such a big deal. I'm like, who's saying no to J-Lo? But
yeah, it puts everything into perspective because it's like, I never ask people for collabs like in any sense because I hate being told no. It makes me feel like a loser when I'm like, do you want to get on my song? And someone's like, no. And I'm like, okay.
Have you been told no?
Oh my gosh, yeah. I had like a whole list of collabs for Starfucker. They all ended up just not working out, which is fine. Like everyone's doing their own thing. Like I'm never going to like chase someone down to like be on a song with me. But seeing someone who's like really, really big and famous, like being told no is like, that's just like so crazy.
Yeah.
It's good though. Like we need checks and balances.
Right. You're like, if it happens to J-Lo, then it's fine that it's happening to me.
But yeah.
Did you do any duets on Star?
No, I did a song with this artist Lolo Zuai on my deluxe, and she's really sick. It's this song called Makeup, but it was pretty much just like a solo album.
So you were like, when you write songs, you write them, and then do you think like, oh, maybe someone would sound good on this, or do you and then reach
which
out?
Can be kind of jarring because it's like sometimes you think someone would sound good on something, but they might not like it. They might want like a different vibe song,
right?
So it's hard to kind of like guess and curate. And I don't like to just like throw songs at people and be like, hop on. Like I like to really be intentional with what it is and who it's going to be and things like that. But yeah.
Did you went on tour with Charlie XQC?
Oh yeah.
How did you get into that? Yeah,
that was a long time ago. That was like I think like 2019. I didn't really go on tour with her. I just opened for 2 dates on her tour.
Oh, okay.
But yeah.
How did that happen? Did you DM her or what?
I think her agents reached out. Or she reached out. She hit me up to do like a remix of one of her songs at the time, and then I think it was because we were going to go do those 2 shows. It was just I forget which cities it was, but it was 2 cities, and then like either her or her agents usually reach out. That's usually how opening works too. It's like an artist will kind of be like, oh, like I'm thinking of this person, and then agents will kind of get the deal done, you know.
And then they communicate with each other.
Yeah.
Are remixes hard to do?
Remixes?
Yeah.
Not really. Like I didn't like produce a remix. I like put like a verse on something.
I see.
So I just like I can like write. I'll like write any verse. I could, you know,
just like change it up or something like that.
I'm like I just them out. I don't know.
I kind of live for that. Yeah, like they gave me more. I was like, this is kind of iconic.
Yeah.
Well, if you ever want to do a remix, I have a song called "I Love You, Jesus." You know, Catholic.
I would die. Stop. I'm gonna like shake.
Because I was like, I'm a Catholic schoolgirl.
I feel like that. Oh my God, I would be so down. I love you, Jesus.
That song I 100% wrote. Usually I have a writer, I have Jeremy that like writes freaky and stuff like that, but that one I 100% wrote myself.
Iconic.
There's no structure to the song. I think I have like 20 verses in that song.
But it's catchy as you know what you're doing.
Thank you. We were talking about that in Hot Topics yesterday. I'm like, I wonder if Slayyyter would want to do "I Love You, Jesus," just because like totally different direction.
That would be so sick though, like to make it like club electronic, like put some like fat bass behind it and have it be like "I love you," like Jesus. Like make it like crazy. Like that'd be so sick.
Oh my God, I love it. Get a little latex in there. I think
we'll make it like really scary.
That would be so cool.
Put like monk hymns, like quiet, like choral in the background. That's like ooh,
spooky.
Yeah,
I love it. I think Jesus would appreciate it because I really do love Jesus. I'm not like blasphemous like that. I
do
down.
too.
Yeah, I think he'd appreciate.
Yeah, I'm the same way. You know, like I like wear a cross. Like I feel like I don't know. Jesus is he's like one of the most iconic figures of all time.
For sure.
Almost like celebrity in a way.
I think he's the most like recognized face or something, right? Like he's the most like drawn face, recognized face I heard somewhere.
I love that we're talking about this. I'm getting a Jesus tattoo in a couple days.
No way.
So I'm like, this is funny.
Like of his face or like.
Yeah, that famous portrait of him with like the crown. I'm getting it on my arm.
Wow. Oh my God, that's going to be so cool.
Yeah.
Do you have you have the rosary and what else?
Rosary, not too many. I have like the star tattoo. This star was my first tattoo.
Wow. What's the L?
My nails are literally like coming off.
Oh, I kind of live.
The L is for my mom and my sorry, I'm like losing the mic. My mom and my sister's name are Libby and Laura. So
oh, cute. So you got the L for them.
L for them.
Oh my God, I love all the tattoos that you have. Do you have any on your body, like ribs or?
No, I want to get more. I feel like once you get started, you can't stop. Like I always promise my mom that my last tattoo is my last one, and it's never my last one.
Oh, she's like not about it.
She hates them. She's like a old Polish like Long Island Catholic lady. She like does not want to hear it with the tattoos.
She's like, I read in an interview that you did. You're just like, yeah, my mom finds out a lot about me through my songs.
Yes.
That you're bisexual. She found out through that.
Through like articles and stuff. She's like, oh. And I'm like, yeah.
Did she bring it up to you?
No, sometimes. And I'm just like, girl, I was kidding.
Oh, you're like, that's
I'm
later.
Like,
that's not
I'm
me.
just being Miley. Like, come on.
That's what's cool about you. You have the Hannah Montana and then, both sides to you, which is cool.
Loved that show.
Wait, did you?
Yeah.
I was like beyond, like past my generation. Were you like, this is going to be me?
Yeah.
I'm going to have best of both
worlds. I feel like Hannah Montana did a lot to like little girl brains where like everybody wants to be famous. And I feel like that and High School Musical, all of those shows, I think that they're like to blame because it was all like, like be a star, like content.
We had Lizzie McGuire movie, and at the end, she got to be like a pop superstar in Italy. I was like, that's what I want to be too.
Right?
She's like stumbling into it.
Wait, I loved your recreation of the Liz McGuire.
Oh, thank you. What dreams
good.
I made.
Yeah,
that's what I did with my money. I was like, you know what? I'm going to spend all my money. I did a bet on it. I was like, I'm going to be these people.
The bet on it is my favorite. That one is too good.
Oh man, I would love to do that again, but I did spend too much money. I think in total I spent probably like $10 million over the years on music videos.
No way.
Yeah, I spent way too much. Oh, I would shoot at like Universal backlot. I would do the most.
Whoa.
Get like water hydrants exploding. I really thought I was that person.
That's incredible though.
I spent way too much. And then and then taxes. I never owned a home. I just had all these music videos and I was just like, oh, it's fine though. I didn't really care when I was like single and stuff. I never thought I was gonna get married, have kids. So I was like, what do I have to spend my money while I have it?
However someone wants to spend their money is like, it's just that. It's how you want to spend your money.
Exactly.
Like, no, I never judge when people like do crazy stuff. I'm always like, no judgment. Like I would buy like rhinestone, literally like what you were saying. Yeah. I would literally have everything rhinestoned out and like I would just like I'd get like a rhinestone car.
Oh god, I've seen those. Like BMWs, really? Like just rhinestoned out. I don't know if they're real or AI, but I always see them on Instagram.
I see them in like Japanese car shows a lot. They'll have like a fully Swarovski crystal as like a promotional for like the kind of car it is.
Oh my god, I would love that. I don't. Are you a spender or a saver? Like, would you splurge?
Spender.
You are
bad.
What do you spend on?
Clothes.
Oh, really?
Vintage clothes and like old. Like what else do I love clothes and I love furniture.
Really? Like, where do you go find? Because you get the art, you get the 80s stuff. So where do you find that?
Sometimes like Cherish will have like good pieces, or sometimes just Facebook Marketplace. But like I'm always just like it's nothing's ever that expensive, but it's just the volume at which I buy. You know, like,
same.
I don't even like new luxury stuff that much, but it'll be like an old Prada purse that like Mary-Kate Olsen wore in like 2005, and I'll find it and I'll be like, that's what I want.
Where do you find those?
Usually like Vestiaire Collective. I don't know what the website is. They have a lot of old stuff.
So you're like a vintage, you're like a thrifter.
Yeah.
Do you follow the Vintage Show Pony on Instagram?
I think so.
He's like really 80s. He has all the 80s. Like he like sets it up. He has like pink stuff. It's so cool.
Wait, I know. I'm putting my nails right here. Sorry.
Oh yeah,
I know exactly who you're talking about. I do.
It's so cool. I had a makeup artist. Her name was Moira. She's like a Barbie. She's like 80s Barbie. I feel like you just know so many of the same glam people. The person who did my glam day was like, I did Slayyyter for Pride or something like that. I was like, oh my god, everyone knows
really?
you. Louis Dollhouse.
Oh, I love Louis.
Yeah, he was
he's so good.
He's so good.
I love
he
Louis.
was like, yeah, and he's like, who's on today? And I was like, because I showed him your picture, and I was like,
yeah.
Slayyyter. He's like, oh. Okay, that's everything. Yes, I always feel like we know the same glam people, but there's one that's like an 80s Barbie girl. Her name's like Moira or something like that, and her whole house is like 80s deco pink.
Love.
It's so cool.
Fierce.
And it's like and she said that she's like, I spent all my money on that. And I'm like, that's what you gotta do. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, when I see things I like and I just want it, like it makes it. I never grew up with stuff, so like I feel like now that I have money to spend, I'm not like financially responsible.
I don't think you need to be yet.
Yeah,
I think like in your 30s you can become financially responsible.
Right. Period.
20s I was always at zero at the end of the month. I literally spent everything. I was like, that's fine.
Yeah, it always comes back. I'm like, my business managers, like I always am like, I feel like they'll like see me talk about stuff on podcasts about money and they just like probably get so pissed because I'm just crazy. But I feel like when you spend money, it will come back to you.
But it does. I can attest to this. I feel like I'm living proof to this. Like I will give so much money and I'm like, I overpay everyone on purpose. But it always comes back. I swear it does. And I'll talk about it.
And like good faith almost, you know?
Always.
Like good karma.
Always. It always does. Like tipping people like 40%. I'm like, it's gonna come back. And it really does. And I've always been like that even before I like had money. And I feel like it really does come back. I don't know how. I was a miracle. I make money. And then I'm always like, wow, it comes back like tenfold.
It does.
I believe in that 100%. I believe that's like but you have to like think it and feel it and not be scared to like spend it because it's a flow, you know?
It is a flow. I never get into like dangerous territory. Like I'm never like dropping like crazy money that I don't have to spend.
Oh, right, like credit card debt or anything like that.
I had an era of that, and then I learned real fast, and ever since then I'm pretty careful now.
What was the danger zone? Was it credit card debt or what was it?
It was I had a business credit card or a credit card, and I'd never had one before, and I was like 25, 26, 25 probably, which is like too old to like not know how to use a credit card.
Well, I didn't know
but
either.
Like I said, yeah, it's like when you grow up with like a poor family and like you're around financially irresponsible people, like it is like in my soul. So I was just like spending on, I'm like, oh, whatever, put it on my credit card.
Yeah.
Hotels, clothes, all different clothes, the Essence cart purchase, and at the end of the year, and like I would be like, oh, like I would justify everything by like, oh, wear this on tour. Right. I could use this for this music video.
It's a write-off.
It's a write-off. It's a write-off. And it's like you still have to pay for it.
It's like that Schitt's Creek one.
Write-off
He's like,
or not.
Yeah. He's like, who pays it off? He's like, who pays for it? He's like, they don't. They write it off. Like it's like it's like a thing. And I was like, yeah,
literally, that is me.
Yeah. Well, you're lucky you had like I think what happened with me is when I was 18, I opened up like 3 credit cards for $500, and then I just like never paid them. So I was never able to get anything more than $500 on a credit card. So I think it saved me.
Yeah.
Otherwise, I probably would have spent. I don't know. I don't know what yours was, but like when people have like $30,000 on their credit, it's like, wow, bougie. That's a lot of credit.
They make ones that don't have limits at all.
That's crazy.
They make ones that don't have limits at all. I could go buy
an
airplane that I can't afford.
Wait, how do you get those? I want it.
I don't know. There's like...
You have to pay them off?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
You have to pay them off. I think that you get like the limitless one. Isn't that's like the American Express, like the black card?
Oh, is that real?
Yeah, people have black cards.
Have you seen it?
I've never seen
that would turn me on. I'd be like, wow, look at that black card.
And it like dinks. They're like made of metal, so it like dinks when you throw it on the table.
I want that. I probably can't. I still have, for some reason, I still have horrible credit. I don't know if it's from like my 3 credit cards when I was 18 years old, and it's like never, but I've always had like bad credit. Now it's like better, but.
The credit system, I'm like, the credit system in America is a scam. Like straight up.
It is.
But it is because it's like it takes so long to get your credit back good again.
Yeah.
It's like, well, how am I supposed to like get my life together and like get an apartment and do all this stuff?
You're screwed.
Get a job. Yeah.
Yeah. I did a net credit. Do you know those like those speedy cash loans? I did one of those. I took one out for like $3,000. And when we bought this house, I still owed on it. It was from like 10 years prior. I was making like $200 a month or whatever like that. I think in total, it was a $3,000 loan. I think I had paid back like $54,000. For real.
Oh.
And it was either net credit or speedy cash or one of those. Like, but total. I had a $3,000 loan and a $7,000. In total, I owed like $54,000. But I was slowly paying like $150 for the rest of my life.
Oh my God.
Yeah, and I had no idea. So those are always like, but I remember I'd go to like a speedy cash place and they'd give me like 3,000 cash. I'm like, yes, I was bad with money too.
Damn.
But
you and me both, sister.
Yeah, it's like until you need to be financially responsible. As long as you can have a roof over your head, you have a little savings.
Absolutely. That's how I feel.
And no debt. Like you said, the credit card debt is bad, but
that's the danger zone.
Yeah.
But like if I have food on the table, I don't even need to be like a multimillionaire one day. I'm so chill with like Carrie Bradshaw life in a 1-bedroom apartment with like fabulous clothes. That's like all I want.
That's kind of the dream, especially like in LA and stuff like that. It's kind of like, and getting to do what you like to do for work, which is what you do, which is everything. Did you get paid from when you were on SoundCloud?
No. That was all just like out into the internet. Yeah.
And is it still like that for SoundCloud people?
For SoundCloud, I think so. I don't know if you get royalties from SoundCloud, but when you upload through like things like DistroKid or whatever, you can like put your music out, or there's like TuneCore, Stem, or like whatever, but it like you get money from like Spotify streams, not like a whole lot, but you do get paid.
Yeah, I always feel like that. I'm like, I always talk about this. I always buy music from artists because I always thought like they never got paid from.
I just saw this on TikTok where you buy it all on iTunes.
Yes, I buy everyone's. I buy all yours on iTunes. Like that's just like I don't know. I feel like it goes towards the artist.
It does. I feel like you get when someone buys music on iTunes, it definitely is like you get more. That's like. You get like more from that than like a stream.
Streams, you get nothing, I feel.
I'm big on the iTunes thing. I recently have discovered the love for iPods again. I've been using iPods, and you have to be so intentional with the music you buy on iTunes. It's not just like, it's like fast food with streaming where it's like, I don't want access to all of it all the time. Like sometimes I want this Black Eyed Peas album and this like old, like, I don't know, like Hank Williams country music. And I want like, whatever.
And there's a limited space, so you pick your fave.
So you got that. You got your Gwen Stefani. You put like your favorite hits.
Yeah.
And
it's the best. I think that too. I was like, I just want this one song. Like you said, I don't need he has like YouTube music or something. And I'm just like, I was like my one song and I replay it over and over. Right now I'm listening to like Zac Efron, The Greatest Showman, so I just like replay that song over and over. You know what I mean? I get really into like one thing and then become obsessed over it.
Fixations.
Oh man.
I need to send you a blinged iPod.
Oh my God. I would love it. I'm going to have you bling everything. I'm like, can you bling this, and this?
I literally would. I love it. It's my favorite hobby. I love it.
I have an iPod. I recently bought one. I bought a green one off eBay.
Nice.
And I'm like, that would be so cool bling. Okay, I'll give it to you.
Yeah, I'll bling it out. I'll check it out for you.
Yeah, I'll come by. I'm like, I wish I could bling because I have so many bling things. I'm just like not patient like that at all.
It's hard. Also, the chemicals from the glue are really like toxic. So especially with like babies and stuff, I wouldn't get into that.
Do you get like high? Are you like,
I don't get high. I wear like a mask when I do it for the most part, but I just know I'm missing some brain cells for sure. It's like cancerous. Like it's like bad.
Oh, wait, really?
Yeah, E6000 glue.
Wait, really?
Yeah.
But when it dries, it's fine?
When it dries, it's fully fine. But when you're using it and it's wet, because I remember I was posting on my Instagram story that I was like doing this like rhinestoning like side projects, and I had this drag queen DM me and they're like, "Girl, open your window and wear a mask. Like that stuff is really toxic." And I went, "What?"
Oh,
and they're
God.
like, "It's really toxic," and I had no idea. I was just
you
like,
would have passed out. Died.
No, literally, I was like, "Why do I get so lightheaded when I do this?"
Oh my God, you felt it.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Well, thank God for that drag queen. Oh my
Yeah,
gosh, she
I
saved
know.
your life.
She saved me.
Oh my gosh, that's crazy. I didn't even think about that. Yeah, the fumes of it. Because I actually like toxic smells. Like I love gasoline.
Me too.
I
Yeah.
love like the nail salon. Like I love, but you always see even before COVID they were wearing those masks, and I was like, maybe he always says that when I go. He's like, I don't know if you should be like inhaling that stuff because I used to get the acrylics, and I was like,
Yeah, the powder.
but it smells so good. Like
I know it does.
toxic smells are just.
Nail salon smell is a great smell.
It's so good.
Also like hair dye and like bleach. Like I love the smell of hair bleach.
Oh my God, bleach is like Do you bleach yourself or do you go somewhere?
No, I go somewhere. My friend John.
miss it.
Yeah.
Oh, I miss the bleach of it all.
When I used to work at a hair salon, my hair was even blonder than it is right now. But I worked at this hair salon and I would get my hair done for free because I was the receptionist. So all these ladies, and it was like DePere, Missouri, like the suburbs, but it was like not like, they weren't like, like they were great, but it was just like my hair was like like
Right.
It was like constant. I would get the smallest root and I would get my roots done. So it was just like bleach blonde
Every week.
Yeah, drunk, falling asleep in my extensions. I had like no hair in the back. I still kind of have that like chemical cut vibe, but
It's actually so healthy. When you said this is your real hair, I was like, oh my God,
Yeah.
mine. I have pictures. It was like a half inch of my whole hair. Like it was just
Really?
like broken all the time because I get
Damn.
styled.
Yeah.
So when you perform, are you getting it styled all the time?
I style it myself for the most part, but I'll
Okay.
usually like I'll put like a wig on myself or I'll do like a ponytail like extension.
Okay, so you don't have to like put too much damage on it.
Yeah.
That's why I do wigs now. I used to like be anti-wig, but even now I don't bleed. Oh, I have the like highlights, but it saved my hair so much. I was just like, oh.
It's just safer.
Yeah, but yours actually looks so great for it.
Yeah.
And I miss the bleach. Oh my God. It gives like Chrissy from Three's Company too.
Oh yeah.
It's just such a cool vibe.
I know. I might go pink soon though, but
Pink is cool. The picture that I saw with your pink hair, I was like, oh, she looks so cool in this.
yeah, I was inspired by like Snooki hair with like the rat's nest.
Yeah.
I feel like the rat's nest is gonna be really in. Like
It's so cool. We're trying to
intentional
figure
rat's
out.
nest.
Yeah. We couldn't figure it out today. He's like, I don't know if it's a bun. I'm like,
No,
dude,
you
we're trying to
killed
do
it. That's exactly what it's like. It's just
There's
like a
like a clip.
teased mess, and it's like a clip. Yeah,
It's so hard. I was like, oh my God, to find that like perfect messy bun. It is
love
coming
it.
back. Megan Fox with her pink hair and she had like the
Yeah.
messy bun and it just looks so cool.
Yeah.
I feel like you're on top of those trends like that.
Thank you.
Fashion too. You said you were like a fashion girly. Like all this whole thing. Like, do you style this yourself?
Thank you. Yeah, I just kind of wear what I love. I
no
like.
stylist.
I do have a stylist who does like my photo shoots and stuff, but like for
Not
every
every
day,
day.
yeah, just every day when I'm walking around, I just kind of like, I love old Western wear. I love kind of like hardware and like stuff with spikes, like punk rock. But I'm not like a punk rocker, but I love that kind
Are
of
you
stuff.
not? You give me vibes like that. Sid and Nancy a little bit.
Yeah, I feel like, I mean, I love the music, and I feel like one of my exes was like really into like punk music, and he would bring me to like shows and all this stuff, and I love the culture, and I love like leather jackets and like motorcycle men and all that, but everyone's really like gatekeepy about like posers and stuff, so I don't know if I would never be like, I'm punk, because everyone would be like, no, you're not.
Oh yeah, for sure. I love
Yeah.
to be emo for a minute, but I only like My Chemical Romance. Someone called me out like, you
Yeah.
don't even know anyone else besides them. I'm like, that's okay.
So what?
I like to be emo, and I like
Yeah.
I do like a punk scene too. Like
Yeah.
there was a minute, but all I know is like Sex Pistols. And if you say that to a punk fan, they're like, oh, that's all you know.
Yeah.
Oh my God, whatever. But I was like, they're cool though.
No, I feel like I listen to like a fair amount, and like I know bands like from my ex or just like stuff not even from him, just growing up, like, like everyone knows like Sex Pistols or The Clash,
Right.
or, like it's so funny when people try to gatekeep stuff that's like super famous. You're like,
No.
what?
I never understood it until that it becomes something you love.
Yeah.
Like when the Elvis movie came out, I was like,
True.
this was my thing. And now everyone's like, we love Elvis. I was like, no, stop it.
You're like, not like I love Elvis.
Right. But then Priscilla came out and was like, we hate Elvis. I'm like, well, I still like Elvis.
Yeah.
So I'm
You're like,
back on
good.
it.
Go on now.
Because then when it happens to stuff you like and it becomes mainstream, you're like, oh, damn it.
Yeah, that's how I feel.
You know what I feel like that's gonna be you. All your fans, once you become mainstream, they're gonna be like, no, like it was our thing. Because you are mainstream, but you know what I mean? Once you're on SNL.
Not like mainstream though. You know?
I feel like once you become that, where you're
Yeah.
like playing the Sophie, and so then people are like, no, like
Yeah.
I hear it all the time with people like Olivia Rodrigo and stuff like that, you know, she kind of like blew up and now they're like, well, we liked her before when she was on High School Musical.
Yeah.
And I feel like that's going to be you because you have such a hardcore fan base now.
Yeah.
And then like, I feel like at that point they're like, do you think you'll keep your style when you become like that?
Oh yeah. I would hope that I would never become an artist who sacrifices like my work for the sake of mainstream success or anything like that. Like anytime I make an album, it's like, yeah, I could make the songs more palatable for like radio, but like that doesn't guarantee they'll be on the radio. And like, I don't want to make like whack. Like I want to make cool music, you know?
Right.
So I feel like, if I ever got like lucky enough to reach more mainstream success, I would never, no label could tell me no one in the world can tell me what to do. Like I'm one of those.
And I feel like that, it's kind of like the appeal of Gaga too. Like again, Gaga was a little bit like after my time, but I do feel like she was so out there and different, and I feel like that's what people liked, and I feel like that's what people need now because people do censor themselves so much, and like I guess I get why, but it's like, God, you want people to be like out there again, you know?
Yeah, out there and different and like iconic. Like I feel a lot of it is such a game now, and these labels, like all these hit songwriters and these writing camps, and like it's just so much music that has no soul, like it has no like grit. There's nothing like cool within it. It's so it's conceptual and it's way too radio sounding. Like there's no, I don't know, like some of my favorite hits from like yesteryear are like really odd songs, like Holla Back Girl, like all the Pharrell production. Yeah. It's like that was music that had like some soul and some like beef in it. Like I don't know.
I know. I feel like that's why you are such a success, because that is like, it's this whole world. When I really dived into it, I was like, oh yeah, this is like this whole niche world that like no one's into, no one's like tapped into, and you're like the one. So I think once again, the gays know, you know, they kind of like feel out the stuff and then it becomes like huge. You know, it's like the Jennifer Coolidge. The gays are like Jennifer Coolidge, and now she's like huge. You know, you find, but she was there. She was always there, and she was always prominent. It's just like, you know, they find it, and they found you, and they led me to you, and I'm so thankful for it.
I'm so thankful for it. I'm like, oh my God, when you DM'd me, I literally was like, I thought it was a fake account. I was like, there's no way. I was like, there's no way.
I felt the same when I started really getting into you. I was like, oh my God, this is like our new Britney. Like this is really
Thank you so much.
And I mean that wholeheartedly, because I was like, whoa, I don't get excited about music or musicians that much, just in general. Like I said, I'm just still in the Donny Osmond era. But when I saw you and I saw this, I was just like, oh my God, this is like I said, not hidden because you're out there, but like for, you know, a lot of people like TikTok and all, they just don't know the amazingness of you.
I feel like I can be really self-aware about me and my music and like where I'm at. Like I'm not huge. Like I'm not like huge with social numbers. I'm not like, I have like this cult audience, and I do tour, and I feel like the room says as I do, or even bigger than people who have bigger songs sometimes. But it's like, I'm like, it's like weird. I feel like I'm kind of like in this weird like underdog position almost, but I like that. Like I don't want to be.
No, it's gonna blow up so big, and it's like the quality of your fan base. That's what you were saying, and you know what I say too is like the quality of your fan base is so hardcore for you.
Yeah,
and I think that's the most amazing thing, because it's not like that for everyone. You know what I mean?
They kind of ride or die, which I like. I feel like there's some artists who have huge streaming numbers, like bigger than I could ever imagine, but it's like passive listeners, like, you know, moms who throw on like a Spotify, like algorithm playlist. They're not really like into what this like artist is. Right. I feel like all my fans, it's like they know what I'm up to, they know where I'm at, they know what I tweeted last night. They are like,
they see everything. Yeah. And you give them so much with all like your interviews and just who you are as a person and just the visuals. I know you're just such a different person that's out there, different artists out there, and it's like,
thank you,
it's amazing. And thank you, Stan Twitter, for bringing us together, because I was like, I love you so much. I can't wait for I Love You, Jesus.
I know. I'm gonna hound you about that.
Please do, because I feel like I miss music, like I miss being creative that way, and I was like, oh God, it'd be like such iconic. And I just know, like, I'm like, you're so big now, but I really do feel like it will be one day where it's like so huge, and all of a sudden, like, I remember she was on my podcast.
No, I'll still be your homegirl. Come on now,
please, always. I like really appreciate when I see you at SoFi Stadium. I'm gonna be like, I knew her.
Oh my God.
Yeah, I feel like it's just like on the cusp of it, because everyone's just like craving something. Like,
I don't know if I'll be SoFi Stadium level. That would be like,
I think you will be 100%.
That's a little too big.
No.
I'd like to keep it like, I don't know, like what the biggest venue. I'd be good at capping the like level.
I think you could do SoFi Stadium. I feel like The Weeknd does it by himself, right? He doesn't really like go out with anybody.
Like, he's got like the biggest songs of all time on streaming.
I just recently discovered him, but I feel like you have that same vibe. I found The Idol. I'm bringing this up to everybody, but The Idol was like, I'm like, who's this guy? He's amazing.
Did you like the show? I loved it.
Did you?
I loved it. Everyone hated on it. I was like, this is 80s erotic thriller. They're just fucking for no reason. I love it.
I love it too. And everyone I say is like, ugh, and like misogynistic. And I was like, that's how I was introduced. I swear, my husband, I literally had no idea who the person was. I was like, this guy is everything. I love him. And then everyone's like, oh, it's like The Weeknd and he's like huge or whatever like that. Yeah. So he did DM me back once and said, thank you for the support after asking me to be on my podcast. But then I followed up again. I'm like, but will you be on my podcast? But he doesn't do any, he's elusive. Yeah. He won't do any interviews with anyone.
He's very secretive.
Yeah. But I loved The Idol. I loved, the pop star dream. It's the LA fantasy again,
Yeah, it was
just
good.
Being wild and the sexualness of it all.
The cult and the drugs. And it was definitely like a weirdly plotted show. Like, I won't lie. The plot was odd and it wavered episode to episode. But overall, I was like, I love looking at Lily Rose Depp.
Yeah,
that's
gorge.
One thing I know for sure.
Oh, God.
I love looking at The Weeknd. And I love the random horniness it was so like 80s erotic thriller.
As you're like in the vocal booth just getting like felt up, you're just like,
yeah,
that's
she's like,
the dream.
And they had like Mike Dean in it. It was like such a legendary producer. It was just such a crazy.
Who was he in it?
Mike Dean. He was Mike Dean in the show.
Oh, really?
Also,
I love
like,
this.
Love when shows do that. He's like crazy big producer. He did like all Kanye stuff, and he's like a synth like god.
And he played himself in it?
Yeah, he played himself.
Well, like what scenes were it? Do you remember?
Like the studio scenes. He was like making the beat.
Oh my! I love that because I feel like I know every little piece of Idol trivia, and I did not know that one.
Mike Dean.
Oh my!
Look him up. He's always on Instagram making beats and like playing synths and like smoking so much weed. He smokes. Yeah.
That's kind of everything. Well, I know it got canceled, but I'm still hoping for a season 2, and maybe they'll bring you back for it.
Maybe we'll be in it.
Oh yeah, we'll be naked. I always want to be naked on a film or TV. Yeah. That's like my goal in life. Well, just to be in like anything, film and TV, but I would love to be naked in it.
I could see you having a film, like a dawning, like I feel like you would have a film vibe soon.
I would love, if I win the lottery, I play the lottery every day, and if I win the lottery, I would definitely produce a film. Mm-hmm. I would get the guy, who was his name? Harmony Korine,
yeah.
Harmony Korine. I'll get him dragged. I'm going to cast you. I want to just be a bit player because I don't think I could carry a film, but I think you carry a film.
Oh my God.
And it'll be Idol, Showgirls Ask, and maybe The Weeknd. I think if I won the lottery tonight, it's $700 million. Maybe I could get The Weeknd in it. He probably doesn't need the money, but he can make the songs. Yeah.
He said hi. He messaged back.
He said thanks for your support.
That's not nothing.
And that's not nothing. And I know I feel like that one was him because his team wrote back the second time. So I was like, I feel like the first time was him.
Yeah,
that's what I like to believe. But I don't know. I love celebrity just like you. And so anytime anybody, Heidi, anybody DMs me back, I'm like, oh my gosh, I can't believe it. I get butterflies still, especially when people are doing like mainstream stuff like you.
My God,
and I love you. I adore you. I can't wait to like get stuff bedazzled together.
Yeah.
You guys, the one and only Slayyyter.
Thank you so much.
Check her out everywhere. Her album Starf out. Third album, is it coming?
Yes.
It is.
I'm making it right now.
You can you can throw the country song on there?
Yeah.
Okay.
Country ballad and I Love You Jesus remix.
Yes!
And I'm not kidding. I'm going to ask you about the stems one.
Absolutely. I have it for you. Those are one thing that I have. I'm going to send it to you. This is going to be amazing. All right. Thanks, Internet, for bringing us together. And thank you, Slayyyter, for being here. Shout out to the Kathy girls.
Kathy girls.
Bye.